ESPN since 1990. Your home to America's pastime.
Only twice in baseball history have the storied Boston Red Sox and St. Louis Cardinals met. In 1946, Eno's Country Slaughter's mad dash gave St. Louis the crown and left New England heartbroken. In the 1967 Fall Classic, a dominant Bob Gibson overpowered the Sox with his arm as well as his bat. Tonight, the Gibson-like Pedro Martinez retakes the hill after a stint on the disabled list as the Red Sox look to keep pace in the American League East. Early season MVP favorite Albert Pujols and the hot-hitting Cardinals, they'll try to power their way to the top of the National League Central. It's the Red Sox and the Cardinals next. From historic Old Fenway, it's ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball, and tonight a little more history in Boston as the Red Sox and Cardinals continue their first ever regular season series. St. Louis taking game one in a slugfest last night, 9-7. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday Night Baseball in Boston. I'm Dave O'Brien along with 17-time All-Star Tony Gwynn. Great of you to join us. Now, let's talk a little offense to begin with. Last night, 28 hits for these two teams combined. A 9-7 slugfest won by the Cardinals in their first meeting with Boston since the '67 World Series. Now to pitching. Pedro Martinez goes tonight for the first time in about a month, just off the disabled list. But, Tony, we may not see much of him tonight.
No, we're only going to see Pedro for 45 pitches tonight, so he's going to want to establish his 3 pitches. But I think more importantly to the Red Sox pitching staff, their leader's back, and to have him on the mound, whether it's for 3 innings, 4 innings, 5 innings, I think that's a huge lift for the Red Sox.
Sets up a great matchup between Pedro and Albert Pujols, the star for the Cardinals, who has never hit against him before, but he's hit against everybody else. He's hitting .389, which is the top water mark in all of baseball. And this is a guy who has a great idea against any pitcher he faces.
I totally agree. I think he's one of those unknown secrets that have gone on here in the big league for the last 2 years. That home run last night to right field, to me, really is what sets him apart from a lot of the young hitters. He isn't afraid to let that ball get deep and hit the ball the other way. And the home run last night is just an example. Just you're in for a treat tonight. Keep an eye on this guy. Even though he is facing Pedro, I think he'll hang in there pretty good.
Well, it's early, but he's probably the favorite to win the MVP. But another great matchup tonight is of the two shortstops. Nomar Garciaparra, who's been terrific this year, hitting .322, taking on Edgar Renteria, who's hitting .336 for St. Louis. The Cardinals and the Red Sox go at it next from Fenway when we come back.
Ruffles have riches.
Wow! Introducing new sour cream and onion ruffles. Incredible flavor packed in every delicious ridge.
Ruffles, sour cream and onion.
Fight ravaging rain, scorching sun, and wind with new Thompson's Water Seal Advanced. Its special technology penetrates deep, forming a barrier to seal out 99% of the water right from the start. New Thompson's Water Seal Advanced, the most powerful water protection guaranteed.
EOS Rebel TI. Get into it.
Somewhere between where you are and where you're going, there's a Super 8. See you along the way.
The power is in your hands. The Wagner Wide Shot Power Painter. Professional results in about a third of the time. The one and only Wagner Power Painter. For guys who like to run wide open.
Feel a present when you order a Sonic Route 44 big drink or any large drink. You can win anything from a new Mustang to go-karts, MP3 players, even win free food like icy Sonic drinks and made-to-order classics. So come party tonight at Sonic.
Hey, I wasn't finished.
Wouldn't it be easier to just buy your own paper?
Easier? Yes. Cheaper? No. What? For cheap and easy, dial 1010-220. No commitments, no monthly fees. Now that's easy.
The Charbroiled 2-in-1 Charcoal Gas Grill. It's man's new best friend.
It's a grill!
ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball, brought to you by the new Ruffles Sour Cream and Onion Potato Chips. Minwax, turn your house into a beautiful home with Minwax wood stains and finishes. And Canon, with thousands of products and one simple idea, giving people know-how. Canon know-how.
Well, they're meeting again, and for the first time ever in regular season play, they've met twice before in the World Series. In 1946 and 1967, the Cardinals and the Red Sox, both of them going to classic seventh games. Each time St. Louis came out with a world championship. Now look at the St. Louis Cardinals starting lineup. And for Tony La Russa's team, one of the top hitting clubs in all of baseball, Orlando Palmeiro will play left field. Jim Edmonds in center field. Scott Rowland, a Gold Glover, at third base. Albert Pujols, we've talked about, a .389 average. J.D. Drew is the designated hitter. He's hit 7 home runs, a .339 average, a 5-tool guy. And Tony, if he can only stay healthy. Health
has been the big factor with him, and he started out in today's lineup being the right fielder, and all of a sudden now he's the DH, and so Tony La Russa is going to try to keep him healthy this year.
He'll be facing the right-hander Pedro Martinez, the Sox ace, returning to the hill for the first time in nearly a month. He last pitched on May 15th. That's when he strained a muscle high on his right side. The Sox have their #1 man back on the mound.
And I'm sure for not only the Red Sox fans, but people over there on that bench, the starting rotation, the bullpen, the starting lineup, they're all happy to see him back out there. And like I said, even though he's only going to throw, a certain number of pitches tonight, he's going to try to establish himself right from the start.
All right, now defensively, Pedro is hopeful that the Red Sox, and here's a look at them, will play better behind him than they did last night when they made a couple of very costly errors. And in particular, a mistake by Todd Walker, which occurred in the 5th inning. And was able to keep an inning alive, and on this error, because the runner advanced and because the inning was still kicking, a 3-run homer by J.D. Drew proved very costly, and so did that mistake by Manny Ramirez in left field, dropping what was a routine fly ball.
Yeah, and, they need to play better defense.
The first pitch by Pedro Martinez in about 30 days is outside for ball 1. And squaring off against Orlando Palmeiro, is hitting .277 with a home run. Drew and Pujols to follow. And, pitches at a premium for Pedro tonight. As Tony mentioned, he'll throw no more than 45 to 50, and then John Burkett will relieve him whenever that does occur. And it could be in the 2nd inning. It could be in the 5th inning. It's his first strike across. Last night, pretty wild game here, 9-7. St. Louis won it each side with 14 hits. The Cardinals blew a 5-run lead, but would eventually come back and win it.
The Cardinals had Woody Williams pitching too.
And a foul tip into the catcher's mitt.
And Boston was still able to generate enough offense to get even on him. And Jason Varitek hit a 2-run homer late in the 7th inning or 8th inning last night to tie it, and it still wasn't enough.
The pitch fouled back. And every foul ball just adds to that pitch count for Pedro. He's already tossed 5 in this at-bat to the leadoff man. Red Sox fans here packing Fenway Park for this contest between the Cardinals and Boston. And they want to see him out there as long as he can possibly go. He turns on the rubber, and the pitch is way outside.
He looks composed, though. It doesn't look like he's putting much effort into it, and that, I think, is a good sign.
Slender right-hander says yes to Varitek. And it's a line drive on one bounce. It gets to Garciaparra very quickly. He'll sling it over there for the out. Hard hit by Palmeiro, but it skipped on the dirt, and Garciaparra made a nice play moving toward the middle. So 1 man out, and J.D. Drew will stand in next. Now, before going on the DL, Pedro had one horrible outing, and that was against the Baltimore Orioles. He gave up 10 runs in one start. If you remove that, His earned run average drops from 2.83 to 1.45. It's pretty nice right now, but it's a lot more Pedro-like at 1.45. Now, he's been on the disabled list from time to time, as you know, in fact, pretty frequently over the last several years. Facing J.D. Drew now. He's 1 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs last night. He gets a foul off to the right. But it's been a regular occurrence for Pedro Martinez over the years, going back to '99. He's on for 24 days, 2000, 15 days, 2001 on 2 separate times, and again in 2003, 26 days. Cut on and missed by J.D. Drew.
Well, that's a good sign. This last pitch he threw was a changeup. He took a lot off of that. And when he can throw that for a strike, go along with the fastball and the slider, that makes him one of the toughest runs in the game.
Well, as you saw there on that graphic, he's very tough coming back from the disabled list. 17-5 throughout his career. Of course, last year he was 20-4, and he ended the season before on the DL, and that's in there for strike 3. He catches J.D. Drew admiring the pitch. And so there are 2 away.
Well, he's entitled. I mean, you know, we put Pedro on a pedestal because he's so dominant. But that's the changeup right there. When he can throw that for a strike and then back that up with the slider and the fastball, I mean, there's not many guys in the big leagues who can throw their fastball 94, 95 miles an hour and then throw a changeup at 79. That's 25 miles per hour difference.
So J.D. Drew strikes out looking, and that brings up the top hitter in baseball, Albert Pujols, at 389. 2 for 5 with a homer last night, and he drove in 2 runs. One of the best hitters in baseball. You know, he went 2 for 5, and his batting average didn't move. He stayed at 389.
That's how good he's been here lately. I mean, 389, you go 2 for 5, and you get no love on your average. But good young hitter, and he's gonna. I just feel like he's getting better. You know, he's 30 home run guy, drives in 100, scores 100. This is the first time he's facing Pedro, so you know, this is not going to be easy.
And that usually doesn't go well, facing Pedro for the first time. Any hitter who's ever faced him for the first time winds up hitting 176 on average.
Well, when you're facing him for the first time, it's not fun because you know he's throwing 95, but it's like I said, he's got a great slider, probably one of the best changeups in the big leagues. And so you're not going to get comfortable, and I think with Pujols, that's the one thing that he's been able to do.
The 1-2 pitch fouled away. That ran in up around the thumbs. Pujols kind of looking back out at Pedro after that one ran in.
I see Pedro's trying to go up in the zone right here, and this ball just kind of runs in on him. I mean, that was just a couple of inches above his hands on that bat.
That's where Martinez lives. Slight of build, but he's a killer. He'll come inside. He does again and missed that time. It's 2-2.
He is not going to back down, and that's, you know, if Pujols gave him a look after that last pitch, that pitch he just threw was to let him know, hey, I'm not afraid to come in there. And I think you have to come in there to get this guy out the way he's been swinging.
He's hit 17 home runs. You have to be very careful. 53 runs batted in as well. And he swings and misses for strike 3. So a total of 18 pitches in the first inning for Pedro Martinez, but he struck out 2 very hot hitters in J.D. Drew and Albert Pujols, and he did it back-to-back. The best hitter in baseball right now, swinging and missing. 0-0 here.
8 out of 9 Toyota cars get over 30 miles per gallon. So what does that mean to you?
I'm going to Omaha.
A road trip to New Hampshire. Los Angeles, San Diego, Phoenix.
I'm going to drive to Alvin's Ranch in Montana.
Cleveland.
With so many fuel-efficient cars, like the Prius Hybrid, you can drive anywhere in a Toyota. One more thought, don't forget the map.
No maps.
Value begins with Toyota quality.
The Super Regionals are complete. The field is set. It's time to find out who's the best. Heartland, here they come. The top 8 teams in college baseball have punched their tickets for Omaha. national championship.
Here's the play at the plate. He's safe.
The 2003 College World Series begins Friday at 2 and continues at 7 on ESPN2.
Transports have arrived at Thrifty Car Sales of Scottsdale for the all-out blowout sales event, the biggest automotive sales event this year. Now through Sunday, all our certified like-new cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs have been marked down for this incredible sales event. Hondas, Toyotas, Fords, Chevys, Dodges, Nissans, all makes, all models starting at $99 a month. Why buy new? Choose from a huge selection of certified like-new vehicles starting at $69.95. Buy it right. Buy it now. Buy it right now. Only at Thrifty Car Sales of Scottsdale, north of Thomas on Scottsdale Road.
London gold is the best.
Red Sox coming up to bat here in the home half of the first inning at Fenway Park. Johnny Damon will lead it off. Here's the starting nine. Manny Ramirez at .323, batting right behind Omar Garciaparra, who's hitting .322. Damon takes a strike from the right-hander Brett Tomko. And the 6'4" right-hander for the St. Louis Cardinals is 2-1 coming in with an ERA of 4.71. Inside on Damon. Todd Walker up next. Glad to have you with us here on this Wednesday night at Fenway Park in Boston. And the place is sold out for the Cardinals and the Red Sox. They haven't met since the 1967 World Series. That one line foul by Damon. Hasn't had a whole lot of good swings lately, and that one broke a bat. Tomko has not tasted a win since April 25th. It's only last Thursday the Orioles got him for 9 hits, 5 runs, and 5 1/3.
Yeah, and he's looking to kind of redeem himself after that last start. Tomko fastball, over top slider and change.
But he's been very inconsistent with those pitches.
And that's, one of the things after watching him pitching San Diego last year is that he likes to throw the fastball a lot.
2-2 on Damon.
And he's going to have to throw the breaking ball and the changeup a little bit more, I think, with a little bit more consistency to have the kind of success that he's looking for. Because sometimes he gets out there and he kind of falls in love with that fastball and misses the big leagues. And when you're throwing fastball, these guys make adjustments quickly.
One thing he has not adjusted to, that's pitching outside of Busch Stadium. At Busch, he's been pretty good. An ERA of 3.78. But his road earned run average is 6.89. That's the highest in the National League.
And this is a pretty good hitting Red Sox club, too.
That's the best in the American League, the best in the majors in terms of batting average. Now, defensively around Tomko, you have the Gold Glover rolling over at third base. Vina is out, another Gold Glover. He is hurt. Martinez is also a little nicked up, not playing first base tonight. Edmonds is a Gold Glover as well, and so is Edgar Renteria, who made just a brilliant play last night on a deflected ground ball. A high hopper gets to Delgado, and he throws on to first base for the first out. But a look at that play, and it's worth many more looks on a ground ball off the glove of the pitcher, Woody Williams. And watch what Renteria does. Bare hand, and he flips it around his body to get the force play. You talk about creative.
That is one heck of a play right there. His body was going one way, and that was the only way he could get the ball to second base in time to get the act.
Shades of Ozzie Smith in a St. Louis uniform at that very position. But here's Todd Walker. He's having a terrific season in Boston. His first as a Red Sox second baseman, hitting .318 with 4 home runs. Last night he was 2 for 4 in game 1. In that game, everybody hit 28 hits. It ended 9-7. And when you have offenses that are powerhouses like these two in a ballpark like Fenway, don't be surprised if it winds up that way again tonight.
I wouldn't be, I'll tell you. And we've talked about it before. Both of these teams, high octane offenses, real good hitters, little speed, a lot of power. In this ballpark, I mean, it's just a nice recipe. We saw it last night, a nice recipe for runs to be scored.
Well, a muggy and overcast day with a little bit of rain in Boston, but It's holding off right now, and we expect to be able to play this game in its entirety. Although you can see that some of this weather is hanging in. It is at least dry in Boston. 2-2 pitch. A jam shot foul. And the Red Sox last night falling a half game behind the Yankees with that loss and into second place in the American League East. And since their hot start, they got out of the gate with a 19-9 record. Boston is 16-18. They've been decidedly mediocre. A dribbler. Will it stay fair? It is. A fair ball gobbled up by Pujols for the play at first. And there are two gone. Let's go to the studio now. Dave and Rob, guys.
Okay, Dave, thanks a lot. Tough act in Tinactin takes us to New York, and Red Sox fans going to like this, Dibs.
Well, it's 2 outs, first and third, 2 strikes on Lance Berkman. And you know what? Jorge Posada has to catch that ball in that position right there.
It does get called a wild pitch. Jeff Weaver making the start because Jose Contreras is on the DL. It's 1-0, guys.
All right, gentlemen, here's what's on the line here tonight at Fenway Park. As mentioned, the Red Sox a half game out, and the Cardinals right on the heels of 2 first-place teams in the Central. They are 1 game off the pace.
I think that Central is going to be an exciting race all summer long. All 3 of those clubs, pretty solid baseball teams.
Garciaparra swings and misses. Of course, Sammy Sosa not with the Cubs for the next 7 games. His suspension upheld, 1 game knocked off. He said he won't fight it. And that starts tonight, so we'll see what happens with the Cubs without Sosa. Now went over the shoe tops of Garciaparra. Nomar checking in at .322, 10 home runs. He was 3 for 4 last night with an RBI. And on deck, Manny Ramirez. And you get into the heart of the Red Sox order. And these two, Garciaparra and Ramirez, as dangerous as they get, numbers 3 and 4, back to back. Fly ball gapped into right center field. On the move, Edmonds. He will not get it. It's going to bounce and roll. That one heading right into that triangle up against the 420 mark. Garciaparra wants 3, and he's going to have himself yet another triple. Boy, does he love that part of Fenway.
Well, that's just good hitting by Nomar. He got a fastball up and out over the plate. Carved it into the right field, really into the triangle in right center field. You know, this ball is elevated. That was a breaking ball. That ball is elevated, and he just goes with it. And you think he doesn't know that that's possible 3 bags right there from the moment it left the bat? Easy stand-up 3 bag.
Well, it's his 10th triple, leading the major leagues. A lot of people around baseball think the triple is the most exciting play in baseball. Nomar Garciaparra believes that's the case. I think Mia Hamm believes that's the case, too. Going into the dirt on Manny Ramirez, who's batting .323. Garciaparra holding at third base. And the Red Sox have come up with the first hit in this contest. Manny with 13 home runs. He has a 9-game hitting streak going. 2 for 4 with a homer and a double, and he drove in 3 last night in a loss. But he's really starting to heat up with the home run ball. Tomko's pitch. Did he check the appeal? And he did check his swing.
Yeah, and with Manny, like a lot of these guys, when you get into these interleague games, you know, sometimes it's just about knowing the opposition, knowing what you're about to face. I don't know if he's you know, seen Tomko or had any at bats against him, but you know, just like Pujols in the first inning, you want to be comfortable up there.
Outside, it bounces away from Girardi, but not too far. He got enough of the glove on it. Joe Girardi getting into the lineup for the first time this season tonight. Just activated off the disabled list yesterday. He had missed all that time because of a herniated disc, and there was some thought when he first went on the DL, Tony, that his career was over. He's able to rehab and get back in there.
And so you know he's happy to be in here today. And Tomko seems to be pitching around Manny right here.
He has first base open, and now it is no longer open. He puts him on with ball 4. And so the red-hot David Ortiz will try and pick up that RBI. Garciaparra at third, Ramirez at first.
Yeah, Ortiz might be the hottest guy in this Red Sox lineup. And we saw it last night where you know, they walked Nomar kind of intentional walk, and then Manny Ramirez, he got an intentional walk. And Ortiz, who had 3 hits last night, came up and lined out to right field, but he's getting some opportunities to drive in runs now, and the Red Sox are happy to see him swinging the bat really good.
Oh, boy, is he ever. 444 in his last 13 starts. Goes after the first pitch and skies a pop-up back toward the screen. Girardi actually running into the home plate umpire, Andy Fletcher. But it's off into the crowd. Boston scoring twice last night in the first inning. And again, they built up a 5-run lead, but they could not hold it. The Red Sox bullpen has just been atrocious. As you look at the former Minnesota Twin, David Ortiz, over his last 15 games, he has been an RBI man for sure. Lays off the low pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He was impressive last night. He came up and got a base hit off a left-hander, and they brought Klein in the 8th inning and had the bases loaded and 2 outs, and he broke his bat, but he lined the right.
On at 3 for 5, but he pops this one to short. Renteria, the Gold Glover, still backpedaling way out into the outfield to make the catch. Side retired. So Garciaparra with a triple. Ramirez, they pitched around him, and it worked out perfectly. End of the inning, and Pedro is coming back out for inning number 2.
It's a proud day when you graduate from hot dogs and grill your first Johnsonville bride. So don't ruin it with a cattle prod. Sure, poke a dog or a burger, but never puncture a Johnsonville broth. Ever. When you learn how to keep all that juicy flavor inside a broth until it's safely tucked away, welcome to heaven on a bun. Welcome to Johnsonville.
Taco Bell's new chicken enchilada bowl. Grilled all-white meat chicken, seasoned rice and beans, a traditional slow-simmered sauce, and 3 cheeses all melting together. To experience enchilada nirvana, you've got to think outside the bun.
Word has it someone here's trying to make a collect call. Calm down, people. All you gotta do is dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you, cheap for them. What do you say we get up out here and go hit a disco? Or not.
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
They were inspected 2 years ago.
Well, you should have your brakes checked every year.
You know, there's a big difference in the quality of brake parts. Bargain brakes are no bargain. That's why I trust my car to Jim, because he only uses Raybestos brand brakes.
I'm never taking my car to another place again.
I've earned my customers' trust by only installing premium quality Raybestos brakes.
A life-saving reminder from Raybestos.
Going a full 12 rounds is all about stamina. That's why I like high endurance from Old Spice. No deodorant protects better. And it lasts longer because it evaporates more slowly. Want proof? If you're not convinced, Old Spice will buy you a stick of your old stuff. Let me put it this way. High endurance will last longer than I do. But I'm working on that.
And start your day with new body wash and body spray from Old Spice. Spice things up.
Fenway Park all filled up on a Wednesday night. Nice of you to join us here on ESPN. The Red Sox and the Cardinals. Hope you like red. Here's Jim Edmonds. He was the DH tonight. Hitting .303, 15 home runs, 37 RBIs. Been 2 very good months so far for Edmonds. Of course, usually patrols center field and does it quite well in Gold Glove fashion for the Cardinals. He was 2 for 5 last night. Now, Pedro has thrown 20 pitches now, so he's almost halfway to that 45-pitch limit that the manager Grady Little was talking about. Now, you're seeing signs that his pitches are there. He's sharp and looks like the same Pedro as ever.
Well, for me, I am. I mean, you know, the velocity is there. You know, he's getting pretty good break. You know, one thing that you would say about his slider is that normally it has tilt, and what I mean by that, it changes planes. It's not a flat plane slider. You know, you get that kind of break with the slider. You get that kind of break when he throws his breaking ball. I mean, look at the snap on this breaking ball he throws right here. That's straight down, and those are positive signs if if you're a Red Sox fan. He's shaking off the breaking balls going with the heater in.
a good sign, too, although he just missed with it, did not get the strike from Andy Fletcher. But that's an indication that he's feeling pretty good about that side muscle that he's throwing.
Yeah, and, you know, the velocity is good. You know, when he throws this next changeup, when he throws another one, and you see the difference in speed, I think that will be a telltale sign, too.
He's going for his third straight strikeout, and he gets it. A swing and a miss by Edmonds. So he punches out Drew, Pujols, and Edmonds, all hitting over 300, and all hitting with very good power. Got him in succession. Going back to the first inning when he got Drew looking.
Yeah, there's a breaking ball. The high rider. And now that one running away. I mean, that's a good sign. And like I said, it doesn't matter if he's throwing, 45 pitches or 95 pitches. To see the leader of your pitching staff out there having command and being able to put the ball where he needs to put it, that's a good sign for the Red Sox.
I should say so. Here's Scott Rowland. And tonight, he is facing Pedro for the first time in a year or so. He's 0 for 10 against him in his career. But J.D. Drew and Albert Pujols won't be going to Scott for much advice on how to hit Pedro. Those two are seeing him for the first time.
A lot of times you see a guy like Pedro gets traded to the American League and you think, God, that's great. I don't have to face this guy anymore.
Yeah.
Then interleague play comes along.
And dashes your hopes and dreams against, in this case, Plymouth Rock.
Yeah, exactly right.
On deck, Edgar Renteria. No score here in the second inning. The return of Pedro Martinez. After spending about a month on the DL, he is back for Boston. Fouled away by Rowland. Scott Rowland having a very good year. Comes in hitting .299 with 12 homers, but 51 runs batted in. This might be his best RBI season ever. Tony, he's third in the National League.
And it's a byproduct of his teammates, too. His teammates are always on base. And good hitters love to hit with guys in score for them.
Line shot up the middle and a base hit. So for the first time ever, Scott Rowland tastes a hit against Pedro. And that's the first hit for St. Louis tonight against the Red Sox ace. And he stung it.
Well, Rowland doesn't show very much emotion most of the time. And that's a pretty good pitch. He just kind of got it in the middle of the plate. But, on the inside, Scott Rowland's got a smile on his face. He's feeling pretty good about it. My first hit on Pedro.
Up next, Edgar Renteria, the shortstop, who's hitting .336. 6 homers, 45 RBIs. For a guy not noted as an RBI man, he takes strike one. In fact, Renteria leading all Major League shortstops in runs batted in. Had another one last night. A game in which he went 3 for 5. It sounds like everybody went 2 or 3 for 5 last night. Just about all of them did. With 28 hits in the game.
Well, if you're Tony La Russa, you gotta be liking that. Because you're putting runs on the board, you're getting opportunities to score. And with this lineup, Drew and Edmonds and Pujols, Rowland, Renteria, these guys are on base and generating offense for your club, and that just makes it easier to win games. Had some problems in the bullpen, but when you can put 6, 7 runs on the board every night, it makes the job a whole lot easier.
I don't think any baseball fan, casual or otherwise, has to be told how valuable Pedro Martinez is to the Boston Red Sox and their hopes. Since going on the DL, they're 9 and 13. Look at that ERA as a stat. Well, they have him back tonight. Foul back. And the count remains 0-2.
And I know people sitting at home saying, well, can one man make that much of a difference? I say yes. Because Pedro's the type of guy that he leads by example. He goes out there every 5th day. He goes 7, 8 innings. And he shows these other guys in this rotation and on this staff how to get it done. And having him back, I think, is a big plus for the Red Sox.
Well, Red Sox pitching has been their weakness. They're a terrific hitting team. They've been a bad pitching team. Fouled away by Renteria. A staff ERA coming into tonight of 5.30. So they rank 13th out of 14 American League clubs in earned run average. Only Texas is worse. But you go back to 99, very good pitching staff there. 2000, number 1 in the American League, in the top 5 each of the last couple of years. This year's staff has not been able to keep up.
And I know it's kind of hard to believe one guy could make that big a difference.
Popped up, shallow right center. And Trot Nixon moves on over to make the catch. Then Correa retired, and there are 2 away. Eduardo Perez coming up next. Well, the Red Sox had better start to pitch a little bit. Certainly a lot better than they have. Yesterday, they began a stretch of 20 games in 20 days, Tony. In fact, they will not have a day off until June 30th. And that means they're going to play 33 games in 34 days leading up to the All-Star break. Young kid, the new acquisition, John Burkett, is going to pitch tonight when Pedro Martinez reaches his pitch limit.
Yeah, but you notice all the eyes, all the Red Sox pitcher eyes are on Pedro.
And a base hit. Martinez gives up that to Eduardo Perez. First pitch swinging. And that moves Scott Rowland to second base. 2 on and 2 out.
I think this is probably more a product of just getting the ball in the middle of the plate. The ball runs right back in the heart of the plate. And Perez does what good hitters are supposed to do. He hits it hard.
Well, they're going to get Burkett warming up pretty quickly here now. It's 35 pitches for Pedro. He's on the horn, talking to the Red Sox dugout. Dave Wallace, by the way, the new pitching coach for the Red Sox, the interim pitching coach for Tony Cloninger, out and fighting cancer right now. Here's Joe Girardi. First ball swinging over to Miller at third. He steadies and throws high, and landing on the bag, Millar to get him just in time. But almost tossed wildly by Miller, the third baseman. Pedro holds despite giving up 2 hits, and it's 0-0.
Have you ever driven stick before?
No.
Okay. Let the clutch out real slow and give it a little gas. Good. All right, at the next intersection, hang a left. Turn left up here. Okay, now left at the next block.
Team owner Michael Andretti and 6 Honda drivers are competing in the Indy Racing League.
Left right here. Go left on Elm. Hang a left.
Do you think I can make a right?
Why would you want to do that?
It's going to take some getting used to.
Welcome to Sirius, the world's only satellite radio service with 100% commercial-free music. 100 streams, including 13 rock, 10 pop, and 9 hip-hop and R&B, plus sports news and entertainment. And now, take it from your car to your home. The $99 plug-and-play. Rock the house. Rock the car. Rock wherever. 100 streams of satellite radio. Sirius. It's on.
One pizza, one pizzone.
What's a pizzone?
The Pizzone. It's back at Pizza Hut. Now get any large pizza for your family and get a Pizzone of your own for only $2.99.
What's a pizzone?
It's a big taste in a big folded pizza crust filled with cheese and luscious ingredients like pepperoni or fresh veggies. Everything deliciously sealed inside and baked to perfection, plus marinara sauce. Just $2.99 when you buy any large pizza at regular price. No one makes the whole family happy like Pizza Hut.
So this is a pizzone.
What if everything you've been forced to keep inside was suddenly set free?
If you think your kids are ever going to stop asking you for money, you are getting old. Father's Day is the perfect time to look into retirement planning. Retirement, loans, insurance. AIG. We know money.
What are they looking at? This is an easy call. Nothing's proven to beat the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than, boom, Tough Actin Tinactin. It's the only one clinically proven to prevent athlete's foot.
Rolling stands, Tinactin still top.
Good call. Boom, Tough Actin Tinactin.
Well, the Red Sox getting near decision time as Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, as far as Pedro Martinez, wearing a jacket in that dugout. Looks like he's going to go back out for one more inning. As Millar leads off this frame for Boston, bottom of the second. It is no score. Tony Gwynn, Dave O'Brien with you. Kevin Millar, then Trot Nixon and Bill Miller against Brett Tomko. You know, managing Pedro Martinez tonight, 45 pitches, maybe as many as 50. It's like you own a really expensive vintage sports car. And you've really got to cater to him that way. Broken bat roller to Roland, who guns on to get Pujols. Now, in between innings, a little powwow inside the Red Sox dugout. Grady Little, the manager, along with Wallace and Pedro Martinez, just checking in to see if he's going to go one more inning. And obviously he will.
And they're all standing around. There's Dave Wallace, Grady Little, the trainer, all asking him how he feels. What do you think? You want to go one more inning, one more hitter? He looks comfortable out there. He looks like he's, he's made some mistakes in the middle of the plate, but, that's to be expected. He hasn't been out there in almost a month.
38-year-old John Burkett, just a slightly different pitching style.
Slightly.
Than Pedro. Starting to get ready. That's been the plan all along. As Nixon hits a foul hard up against the tarp, which was on the field in the hours before the game because they were anticipating rain. But even though it is cloudy, it's overcast, very humid in Boston. No rain at the moment. You can barely see the top of the Prudential Center, though, off there beyond the right field fences of downtown Boston. And it's a foggy night as Nixon takes outside. You know what's interesting, Tony, is the decision to have Pedro go just a few innings, 45 pitches. That's not surprising.
Right.
And again, you want to make sure he's healthy in September and October and not let him throw 100 pitches on a night like tonight. And one lob foul. But it was kind of unusual that the Red Sox about a week ago announced that that was what was going to happen and who was going to follow him.
Yeah. That's surprising to me, too. I mean, even if Pedro was just going to, was going to have a pitch limit or whatever, normally you don't announce who's going to follow. Normally you kind of leave it to the imagination of the visiting manager because you're going to set your lineup.
Swinging a deep drive right field. Did he get enough? Nixon hits that one way, way back, and she is gone. Ron Nixon with a solo shot puts the Red Sox in front 1-0. Right down that line. Into the corner at Fenway for his 8th home run of the season. And it is 1-0, the Red Sox.
It looked like Trot Nixon got a ball on the inner half of the plate. He really just kind of drops the barrel on it. He hits it out of the ballpark, gives the Red Sox an early lead.
It's a spot you lefties kind of like it, huh?
Most lefties. I was more of a high ball guy, I thought. Now, other pitchers might not agree with that, but most left-handed hitters like the ball down. It's easy to get the barrel head to it, but I kind of like it up.
A diving effort by Delgado, but it streaks through for a base hit from Bill Miller. What a year he's having with the bat. Number 2 in the American League in hitting coming into tonight. A .354 batting average.
Not many times you could have the second leading hitter in the American League batting 8th in your lineup.
That's right. Just a great season for Miller. And I think a lot of folks, even here in Boston, are kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, but the hits just keep on coming for him.
Yeah, he's a proven good hitter, I think. I watched him come up with the Giants and play a year with the Cubs. He's a quality hitter. He's not going to hit you many home runs, but he's a scrapper, and guys like him. He plays the game with some fire.
Well, he hit .292 in 1997 for the Giants. Followed that up, hit .294. Then he hit .290. So he's been in that range, but he's also played for the Cubs, for the Giants, and now the Red Sox. He's bouncing around a little bit.
I think the reason why is because he's not a guy that's going to hit with a lot of power. And when you think of third baseman in the big leagues, you think of a guy who can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
That one driven down the line. It will not go out of the ballpark, but it is going to bounce up against that side fence. Miller's heading into third base. It's dug out by Perez, and the throw comes into second. Here comes the run. Miller scoring all the way from first base on a 2-base hit from Jason Varitek. And he just kept on running. That was a little bit like Enos Slaughter in 1946. I know Red Sox fans don't want to hear about that, but he just kept on motoring.
Well, this is great base coaching by Mike Cubbage at third. This ball goes into the corner, and Varitek is a guy who can't run that well. Perez decides he's going to take a shot and throw him out at second, and he just keeps on he sends Miller on, and he scores easy.
That's right, not even a throw to home plate.
Not even a throw. So it's great base coaching by Mike Cubbage, but Bill Miller never stopped running.
Never stopped running, and obviously he's relying on his base coach all the way to be his eyes because he can't see that play. But if Perez comes up and hits the cutoff man, and they continue to bring Miller home, he's going to be out at home.
Yeah.
On a decent throw. Here's Damon, a pitch into the dirt dug out by Girardi. So the Cardinals fell asleep a little bit on that play, and aggressive base running by Boston makes it 2-0. Perez and Delgado, not the regulars, at second base and right field for the St. Louis Cardinals. Downstairs on Damon, he's 0 for 1.
And once again, it looks like Tomko's run his fastball a lot. And, you know, at this level, you've got to be able to mix it in the breaking ball, mix it in the change. And when you fall behind good hitters and you're coming in with the fastball, these guys, you know, they're not going to miss it.
Burkett at second. And the pitch outside on Damon. Runs the count to 3-1. Now, Tomko has been very gettable early in games. In the first inning, in fact, he's allowed 17 runs this season. The interesting thing was he didn't give up a run in the first, even though he allowed a triple and a walk. He has not been scored on in the second inning until tonight, all season long. And count 3-2.
Well, that was a great 3-1 pitch. To a change at 3-1. And you know, he needs to do a little bit more of that, I think. You know, these guys are sitting dead red, and you've got to be able to change these and throw it for a strike.
Slicer base hit inside third, and it caroms off the side fence. Burkett coming around, he's trying to score. The throw into second base, not in time, and another run in for the Red Sox. They lead it 3-0. A ricochet double by Johnny Damon. And Tomko is getting shaken up in this inning. He's allowed a homer, 2 doubles, and a single.
That was just good hitting by Johnny Damon. And this ball's down and away, and he goes with it. Hits it inside the bag. Now watch, here's the relay. Palmeiro plays this ball really good and cuts it off, but he comes up and he looks towards home. He might have had a shot at second to get Johnny Damon, who didn't stop running. He kept running.
I think it's a very valid point, Tony. I think the outfielders on the corners have let Tomko down a little bit.
I agree.
In this inning, and certainly Eduardo Perez did in right field as Miller came scampering home. So it only took 57 years, but the Red Sox partially make up for Enos Slaughter's mad dash to home plate in the 1946 World Series. The Red Sox lost in 7 games to the Cardinals. Here's Todd Walker. He's 0 for 1. Line shot center field right at Drew to make the catch. The runner holding at second base. And so there are 2 out.
Well, here's the base hit that went in the corner by Veritek. And see the second baseman. The second baseman right here is looking for the relay throw to come home. And Perez comes up and comes to second base. That allows Miller, or Mike Cubbage really, to wave Miller around. Now in this one, Palmeiro does a great job of playing the ricochet. He has no play really here at the plate, even though Veritek's a guy who doesn't run that well. He comes up and comes to second. Maybe he has a shot at Johnny Damon at second. But Johnny Damon can really run too. But I think it's 2 cases here where you kind of have to play this play in your mind before it happens. If Perez comes up, hits the cutoff man, Miller doesn't score. If Palmeiro comes up and goes to second, maybe they have a shot at Johnny Damon.
And the Red Sox being very aggressive en route to a 3-0 lead. And here's Garcia Parra, who tripled in his first at bat. And that means the Red Sox as a team have already hit for the cycle tonight. Trot Nixon with a homer. Miller with a base hit. And Veritek and Damon have doubled. 1 ball and 1 strike on the all-star shortstop with Damon at second. Line drive, sinking, base hit into left. Here comes the throw. Coming home and way offline, and another run scores. Garcia Parra is 2 for 2, and that makes it 4-0 Boston. And they are chasing Brett Tomko here in the second inning.
Garcia Parra is swinging the bat really well right now.
Yeah, when is he not?
Yeah, and this is a ball that's out over the plate. And once again, aggressive base running here by the Red Sox. Mike Cubbage is going to wave him. Johnny Damon, who can really run, but you know, he put the pressure on Palmeiro to come up and make a good throw. And with the throw being offline, they score easy.
So Duncan out to talk things over with Tomko. But I don't know if he has an answer for the road problems of Brett Tomko. We talked about his high ERA away from Busch Stadium, near 7. And more often than not, you're not going to heal up a road ERA at Fenway Park.
Not the way these guys swing the bat. I don't think so.
So 4 runs on 6 hits for Boston. Another one in on Garciaparra's hit.
Now here's the base hit by Garciaparra, and you can see the throw is up the line. And that comes from Mike Cubbage putting pressure, saying, hey, we're 2 outs, we're going to score you. We're going to make this guy make a perfect throw to the plate. And if the throw is offline, either way, you're going to be able to score that run.
Well, no activity in the Cardinal bullpen yet. And there are 2 out here in the second. But he's got to get through Manny Ramirez now. Manny, who walked in the first inning, clearly Tomko pitched around him with Garciaparra at 30, wanted no part of the Red Sox finest all-around hitter.
He might be in that mold again here. He might chase a ball out of the zone. We were so concerned with Pedro's pitches. I mean, Tomko's up to 50 already.
51. And the count 3-0, and Manny's not seeing anything to hit. Manny coming off a road trip. The Red Sox just went 5-7 on a long trip. But he started to hit the ball out of the park. He hit 5 homers on that trek with 14 RBIs. The Cardinals know that all too well. And on 4 straight, he'll walk for the second time. So 2 on, and let's go to the studio right now and an update with David Robb, guys.
All right, Dave, thank you. Astros and the Yankees. Orlando Merced with Houston already up 1-0, coming up with a triple right here. He would later score on a sacrifice fly, but the real story, Gibbs, Roy Oswalt.
Yeah, Roy Oswalt pulled up lame with a bad groin in the second inning, and the Astros can ill afford to be without their starting pitcher and ace, Oswalt, for too long.
It's 2-0 Houston. David, Tony?
Well, that is very true. Houston tied along with the Cubs for first place inside the National League Central. Meanwhile, David Ortiz batting. He's 0 for 1. He's popped up tonight, but has 2 on with 2 out. The Red Sox have put up 4 runs here in the home half of the second inning. And a 4-0 lead over the Cardinals, who are chasing that Astros team. A ball and a strike on Ortiz. So Tomko right now, is he just in survival mode?
I wouldn't say that. I just think he's got to do a better job of locating. And that last fastball to Ortiz, he hit a good spot. And again, we'll change up away. Starts in the zone, runs out of the zone. That's good location. Where he's got into trouble tonight is he's gotten pitches up and he's gotten pitches in the middle of the plate.
30 in this inning. Pedro trying to stay limber over there. About to return for his 3rd inning of pitching. One thing about David Ortiz, he will not get cheated. He is up there to swing the bat, not to take ball forward. He wants to take his hat.
A lot of these hitters, especially today's game, kind of take that scenario. He's hitting behind 2 great hitters with Garciaparra and Ramirez. And, he's seen already how people have pitched around them to get to him. He's the guy they want to pitch to, and he's trying to make him pay.
Good sharply and a base hit. Garciaparra hitting 3rd. He's trying to score. Perez going home, and they'll cut it off. He's in. So they get 5-0. So the 9th Red Sox hitter to bat in the second inning. David Ortiz strokes a single. He remains red hot. Boston up 5-0. Now they are going to get activity finally in the St. Louis bullpen.
This ball's supposed to be away. He makes a mistake on the inner half. And Mike Cubbage is not afraid. He's sending Garciaparra too.
That arm's about to fall off. He keeps waving him in like that.
And I'm sure he does not mind. Hey, keep him coming all night long.
Well, with 2 outs, Garciaparra coming. And here's Millar, who started this inning by grounding out to 3rd. outside for ball one. And the right-hander Calero, who has spent most of his career in the minor leagues, finally getting a break with the Cardinals. He might be ready to enter this game any minute.
Really struggling trying to find the strike zone. 59 pitches.
Millar has been in home run mode lately. He chops that one foul. Now on Saturday in a game against Milwaukee, the Red Sox had 6 home runs, and Millar had 2 of those. In fact, Kevin with 5 home runs in 9 games in their last road trip, including a pinch hit grand slam in the 7th inning on Saturday. He has taken a real liking to Fenway Park. And count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back to Saturday. They had the home run hitting shoes on, and here's the pinch hit granny. That came in the 7th inning as the Red Sox were knocking them out on Miller Park left and right. Millar with 8 RBIs in his last 3 games.
Yeah, he looked like he found a home here in Boston.
That one driven deep, but foul. All sorts of home run distance. Where did he jump on that one?
He did.
Look out, camera people.
Listen, that's what, once again, that's what happens when you're getting balls elevated to good hitters. You know, he's already swung at 2 pitches that maybe were had a chance to be strikes. But Tomko's going to have to locate in order to get this guy out.
Shot toward the alley on the move. Palmeiro. Drew can't get it. It falls between them. It's up against the Green Monster. Ramirez is in. Here comes Ortiz. The throw gets away. Millar's heading to third. 2 runs in. And the Red Sox have piled up a 7-0 lead. Not a happy guy, Tony La Russa. His starter is getting slapped around like crazy. And plus another defensive mistake on the throw back toward the infield that got away. So this is also a sloppy Cardinal team tonight.
You know, Mike Tubbage was not going to be afraid to send David Ortiz. He read the ball, and he started to wind his arm up again to score him. And it was a good cutoff throw. It just got away, and Millar picked up an extra 90 feet and went to third.
How about that cut by Trot Nixon? The last time up, he slammed a home run into the seats in right field. And all of the Red Sox are coming right out of their shoes against Tomko in this inning. They've scored 7 times on a total of 7 hits. That one popped up into right. Delgado backpedaling, and he's there to make the catch, and that ends the inning. Pedro Martinez with offensive support like this may want to go all 9 tonight. He's coming out of the dugout. The Red Sox with a whopping 7-0 lead.
Oops, Howie, you know how dads like you give. And give. And give. Well, at Radio Shack, we believe it's about time dads receive. So send Dad to the movies with this Progressive Scan DVD player, just $48 after mail-in rebate. Or put him in the picture with a Casio digital camera, only $399.99, and get an accessory kit free after $19.99 mail-in rebate. Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers.
What's wrong, hon?
I brought the wrong color. I can't go out like this.
I guess we're not going out there.
I'll get my coat.
There's no place like Outback for our new center cut filet. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Now on DVD. Brosnan.
Let's get down to business.
Barry.
I'm a girl who just doesn't like to get tied down.
Bond.
James Bond.
Die Another Day. The 2-disc special edition DVD. Own it today.
Over the past 5 years, our Diamondbacks have brought home 4 Cy Young Awards, 3 division titles, and 1 world championship. A start unmatched in league history. And with guys like Gonzo, Counsell, Spivey, and Finley ripping them down the lines, up the middle, and deep into the stands, good things are bound to happen. Diamondbacks baseball. You never know what's next. For tickets, call 602-514-8400.
Welcome to the Maxim Laboratory. It is here, from these brilliant doctors of Maximology, that the best things in life come to the men of America. These women have worked day and night, well, mostly nights and a few long weekends, to create the only hair color good enough to be called Maxim. The easy way to get highlights, chits, all over color. Only a Maxim girl has what it takes to make a Maxim man.
Maxim hair color. The only hair color good enough to be called Maxim in the men's grooming section. You're approved.
ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball, brought to you by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. And Eagle One. Need a new way to wax? Try Eagle One Waxes You Dry. Wash car, spray on, dry off. You're done.
Wednesday Night Baseball from Fenway Park in Boston. How about this? 7-0 Red Sox as they reach Brett Topko with 7 runs, 7 hits in that inning.
And you know, Dave Duncan was talking to Brett about, you know, you got to locate a little bit better. You know, you got to be able to get ahead. It's easier to pitch in this game working ahead than working behind.
You got to locate a lot better.
A lot better. Yeah. And when you elevate balls to these guys, I mean, they make their living hitting balls, you know, that are up in the zone.
Wilson Delgado leading off against Pedro Martinez, was not expected to go any deeper than this inning tonight. So with every run, John Burkett gets closer and closer to a chance for a victory. A bounding ball to first. Millar handles it one-handed for the out. First baseman unassisted. As Burkett continues to limber up. 39 pitches now for Pedro Martinez. John Burkett has the look of the vulture. He's getting there, descending on the perhaps a win tonight. Of course, Pedro's not going to go 5 to qualifying. And John Burkett will be the man to inherit the victory chance tonight on a foggy night in Boston.
Well, Pedro, his last hitter, Delgado, made 3 good pitches, and that's a real good breaking ball. So, and here's the last pitch to Delgado. It's a changeup, or it's a breaking ball. And look at the tilt on that. Now, that was Palmero. Look at the tilt on the breaking ball. I think he threw Delgado. The last pitch was a changeup. And after throwing them 2 heaters that started, you know, kind of at him and ran back over the middle of the plate, and then to back that up with a changeup, I mean, that's a good sign for Boston.
The 0-2 to Palmero is up and away. Well, he struck out 3 in succession between the first and second innings. And not just anybody. He got J.D. Drew, Albert Pujols, and Jim Edmonds in order. He got 2 hits in the second inning. Nothing came of that for the Cardinals.
He was the New York City Public School Baseball Player of the Year when he was a senior. And he was a big Mets fan whose hero was Lenny Dykstra.
When he's bringing, is he moving the way he needs in Veritek needs?
I think it is. I think he'd like to, you know, see a little bit more velocity. And I know.
Blockaded by Millar. Pedro gets to the base in time, and they're 2 away.
You know, when Pedro's throwing good, he's 96, 97. And that's not just a straight heater, that's a fastball with movement. And so, you know, I'm sure what they're seeing is a good sign. He's pain-free. You know, he's been able to mix up his pitches. The only ball he really hadn't located, I think, the way he'd like to, is the backdoor breaking ball. He's kind of lost that one out over the plate, or out, you know, outside the plate a little bit. But the fastball, the movement's been good. The breaking ball, he's got tilt. He's thrown a couple of change-ups, and they've been, you know, big difference in velocity. So I think he's got to be pretty happy with what he's done.
J.D. Drew takes one down and in, but of the last 18 pitches, 15 have been for strikes. And that first pitch to J.D. Drew was number 45.
And that was his changeup. And there it is again.
That's a swing.
That's an important pitch for him because, you know, to have the fastball and the slider, and then to come back with this changeup, that to me is what makes him the pitcher that he is.
And a ground ball to the first baseman. Millar again underhands to Pedro. 47 pitches. It would appear he is done for the night. He gets them 1, 2, 3. The Red Sox with a 7-0 lead, and they have Pedro back.
More distinctive styling. 368 improvements in all. The 2003 Discovery.
It's a whole new way to see the world. From Land Rover, the most well-traveled vehicles on Earth. Nicely equipped from $399 a month. Complimentary scheduled maintenance included.
The Home Depot is more than a store. It's something new.
Oh, cool.
It's your first and only stop for the latest innovations.
Wow, cool.
The newest ideas like advanced decking material. The beautiful look of wood with less maintenance.
Really?
And with enough styles to match any taste. All at a guaranteed everyday low price.
Sweet.
All the newest ideas in one place.
Excellent.
The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
In the neighborhood where I grew up, what we grew out there, we cook fresh in here. That's how Olive Garden makes their chicken vino bianco. Great fresh mushrooms and tomatoes with chicken and wine sauce. Plus all the breadsticks and salad you want for $8.95. Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Hi, Tom Bodette. If you want to save a little extra cash, check out Quick 6 Web Bargains at Motel6.com. It's the fastest way to save. See? Told you. We'll leave the light on for you. And a Core Hotel.
I'm stuck, boy. Get help! Go!
The Charbroil 2-in-1 Charcoal Gas Grill.
Find a ranger.
It's man's new best friend.
It's a grill!
You want to race tonight?
The #1 movie in America is Too Fast, Too Furious.
Let the party begin.
It's hotter than the original. You'll be blown away. Too Fast, Too Furious. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Defending champ Tiger Woods goes after his third U.S. Open title. As the world's best head to Olympia Fields, can Tiger repeat? The U.S. Open. Live coverage begins Thursday at 11 Eastern on ESPN.
Bottom of the third inning, Fenway Park, Boston. Tony Gwynn and Dave O'Brien in the batter's box. Bill Miller and, surprisingly, on the mound, right-hander Brett Tomko, who's going to be sent out there for a third inning, and he's trailing 7-0, having allowed 8 hits to him.
Well, what better place to work it out, though, than on the mound? I mean, you're down 7-0. You don't really want to go to the bullpen this early because you got another game in this series. Let him try to work it out. Let him see if he can start locating it.
Another one spanked into right field for a clean base hit. He's having trouble working it out. Bill Miller's 2 for 2. Between innings, as Pedro Martinez got Drew to ground out. As he descends the steps into the dugout, lots of high fives and handshakes, and a standing ovation from the Red Sox faithful at Fenway.
Yeah, fans were happy to see him pitch as well as he did. His teammates are happy to see him pitch as well as he did. They know they got their captain back, one of their leaders back.
And there he goes, headed for the Red Sox clubhouse, which is the size of a nice closet, walk-in closet. After the game, Pedro is going to be answering a lot of questions from the Red Sox media. And usually, on a typical night, as John Burkett will replace him on the mound in just a few minutes, on a typical night, there'll be about 40 members of the press covering the Red Sox inside their antiquated locker room, which is the smallest in baseball and certainly one of the oldest that you're ever going to be inside. And I mean, that means for every man on the 40 roster, there's a reporter.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. And that has led to problems over the years, for a century of baseball in this ballpark. Cramped quarters. And you run into a guy with a pen and a newspaper column every time you turn around in here. And members of the Red Sox don't like that too much. Omar Garcia-Parra has wailed about it in the past. Another line shot. That's going to fall down. A base hit by Veritek. Miller rounding second, hard into third. The hits just keep on coming against Tomko. And whatever La Russa had hoped, and it was obviously to see Tomko work out his problems, it's not going to happen tonight.
I really feel sorry for Tomko because, good hitters, hitters just don't care. When you're getting a guy and he's making mistakes like that, you got to take advantage of it.
2+ innings, and he gives up 10 hits. 7-0 Boston. We'll be back in a moment.
Okay, people, James Carville here. You caught me at the perfect time to explain the benefits of VinPhone. You dial 888-411-1111. That's not hard.
Hello,
this is Info.
Hello, Infone.
Hello, Mr. Carville.
See that? They know you by name. I'm looking for the phone number for, let's see, AJ's Fork and Pork in Fayetteville, Alabama. It's a diner.
Yes, sir.
That's too easy.
Okay, Mr. Carville, I'll connect you now.
Hold on. Before you do that, can I get driving directions as well?
Of course.
They do driving directions, hotel reservations. Heck, they'll give you the velocity of a badger falling from a hayloft if you ask them, right?
All right, Mr. Carville, I have those directions.
Great. Now tell me something, ma'am. Is it true that when I call Infone, the first 15 minutes are just 89 cents?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So if you were to connect me to AJ, even though he's way down there in Alabama, I could talk for 15 minutes for 89 cents?
Well, about 14 and a half minutes now.
Well, you're pretty sharp. And I think you got a heck of a service there, young lady.
Is there anything else we can help you with, Mr. Carville?
Right now, somewhere in America, someone's got a grill going. It's the perfect day for it. The fire's rising, grill's nice and hot. And when the meat goes on, it makes a kind of sizzle sound. You know, that one. Fortunately, one of our grills is probably right in your own backyard. Burger King. Come on over. The fire's ready.
And? You know, we'll get you another hamster. Good job.
Didn't the real estate agent say they were closing the ball field?
Do you have confidence in your real estate agent? Century 21 Pledge Point number 2. Century 21 agents are honest and forthright. Just one of the ways to help reduce the stress of buying real estate. Century 21, the official real estate organization of Major League Baseball.
What are they looking at? This is an easy call. Nothing's proven to beat the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than, boom, Tough Actin Tinactin. It's the only one clinically proven to prevent athlete's foot.
The ruling stands, Tinactin's still the toughest.
Good call. Boom, Tough Actin Tinactin.
Well, this series marking the first regular season meeting ever between the Red Sox and the Cardinals, and tonight it's going a lot better for Boston than last night. St. Louis has to go to the bullpen, and Kiko Calero, who spent 7 years in the minor leagues and never got a whiff of the big leagues until Tony La Russa and the Cardinals took a chance on him. And he's been very effective. Johnny Damon, the batter, he's gone 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI. Runners at first and third. Brett Tocco has been knocked off the hill as he goes 2+. Does not get an out here in the third. Damon back into the leadoff spot. 0 for 5 last night, but he had been dropped in the order by Grady Little. Johnny Damon, an all-star last year, he scored over 100 runs each of the last 5 years, with 286 last season. But this year's been a struggle for him. That's inside for ball. The count 2-1.
Sometimes that happens too. You have a few good years in a row, and for whatever reason you get off to a slow start. The biggest thing is just keep plugging away, keep working at it. And the double he hit, I think, was a good sign. He stayed behind it and hit it down the left field line.
And a base hit the other way. He strokes that through that 5-hole that Tony Gwynn used to like so much. Bill Miller scores another RBI for Damon. 8-0 Boston. Charged that run to Topko. Damon had hit 8th and 9th for much of the last month. As we get a look at the Wagner pitching summary for tonight, Pedro Martinez was the guy in the pitch count, Tony, but he went an inning longer than Topko did.
And only threw 47 pitches. And was really pretty sharp, too. Topko just was a night where he wasn't really locating that well. Got balls in the middle of the plate.
Swinging a drive by Tom Walker. That one settles down on the outfield grass. Veritek into third, and the bases are going to be loaded. It's the hit parade for the Sox tonight. Garciaparra will come up to swing with the bases jammed at Fenway. And for a change, Cubbage actually held somebody up at third base.
He had to, because Veritek doesn't run that well. And Johnny Damon was right on his tail at real close to second base. And sometimes with good hitters, when they're getting good pitches to hit, it's and we talked about it with Pedro. Pedro, comes out, he throws 3 solid innings. He kind of takes these guys and show them a good example of how to do it. Hitting's the same way. And these guys are taking some really good hacks.
Look out for the first pitch. Well, Garciaparra let that one go. Omar tonight, though, already 2 for 2 with a triple and a base hit. Every Red Sox hitter has at least one hit except for Manny Ramirez. Boston has piled up a dozen hits, and they lead it 8-0. Chris Manny has been walked twice. He's pitched around each time up tonight. And they change here in the third inning. Fouled back 2-1. Garciaparra, as aggressive a hitter as there is in the big league.
No question. When he gets up there, he sees the pitch he likes to take a whack at it, he's going to take a whack. And it doesn't matter if it's the first pitch or the 10th pitch. You know, but the thing about him, though, he hits the ball to all fields. He's not a dead forward. He's not what you would think of a guy who likes to swing. He hits the ball to all fields.
Did he check? It doesn't matter. It's in there for a strike anyway, 2-2. And Garciaparra is wondering. Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, said it was a strike on the pitch and not the swing. I thought, well, if it's a strike, it has to be because I committed.
I think it was one of those that he felt like he committed, but he just told him, hey, yeah, it was a strike anyway.
2-2. Got a piece of it. Garciaparra, a two-time batting champ with a .328 career average. And one of the toughest strikeouts in the game. He has never struck out 100 times. And since '97, his rookie year, he has not fanned more than 63 times in any season. And when you're as aggressive as he is, that's saying something. Swinging a fly ball deep to center, but Drew is there to measure it. Tagging up Veritek. He is in to score. And the Red Sox add another. Now in front 9-0. Garciaparra with his second RBI of the night. Give Nomar 44 for the year.
Interesting thing happened there on the base running. Johnny Damon was tagging at second. And I think he kind of let J.D. Drew determine whether or not he was going to go to third or not. He looked like he was looking at J.D. Drew and just said, I'm going to test you, and he went. And even though the score is 9-0 now, he picked up an extra 90 feet and now has a chance to score a 10th run. And it seems like not that big a deal in a game like this, but you know, those are the type of plays that sometimes can win you game.
We'll see if Manny gets anything to swing at here. Well, he did on the first pitch, and he fouled it away. He was ready. 0-1.
Yeah, and that's what makes hitting where Nomar and Ramirez hit, where you're in the RBI opportunities. You know, a lot of times they just don't pitch to you. And so even in a game like this, you never know if they're going to give you something good to hit, or you have to be patient. And to see Nomar have success he's having and Ramirez have his success too shows you how good a hitter both of those guys are.
Ramirez could not hold up. The count moves to 0-2. Garciaparra driving in a run from third on the sacrifice fly. So closed the book on top, though. He gave up 9 earned runs in 2 innings. His ERA jumped from 4.71 to 5.60. And again on the road. Fouled away by Ramirez.
Ramirez going right after Manny, too. He's not trying to trick him. He's coming right at him. He's run the fastball up and in on him. That one he ran in on his hands a little bit. And in this kind of situation, that's what you should do. You should go right after.
First and third, 1 out. 2 more runs in for Boston. Well, so far, a great night for the Red Sox and for Garciaparra, who has a couple of hits, 2 RBIs. They get Pedro Martinez back, returning from the disabled list for the first time since the middle of May. John Burkett will replace him in just a bit. Swing and a miss. He chased the ball down low, and Ramirez strikes out. So Calero gets him, and they're 2 away. And coming up Thursday, the Major League Baseball season continues. Interleague play on ESPN2's Game Day. Jeff Bagwell, Jeff Kent, and Houston Astros visit Derek Jeter, Alfonso Soriano, and the Yankees. ESPN2 day game from Yankee Stadium at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Houston, incidentally, with a 4-0 lead in their game against the Yankees tonight.
And that's the other thing to be excited about if you're a Red Sox fan. You get a chance of maybe going back into first place if you can win.
Yep, that coupled with a Yankee loss with Boston in front by half a game. But don't you get the feeling? Yankees and Red Sox are going to be exchanging first place back and forth like a hot potato.
Absolutely. I mean, it's probably going to happen all year long, all summer long. And they're going to go back and forth. And some feelings get hurt here in the interleague part of where the Yankees were playing, but they felt like were tough teams and the Red Sox weren't. And now the Red Sox get the Cardinals and the Astros. The Yankees get the Cardinals and the Astros. So I mean, it's going to be a dogfight all year long, I think.
The Red Sox just came off a long 14-day, 12-game road trip. It saw them go 5-7. They did not get much good pitching. 3-0 on Ortiz. And Kevin Millar, who just hit a grand slam the other day in Milwaukee, waiting on deck. They lead at the corners. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And that's ball 4, so Millar will get another crack at a granite. Bases are loaded. So for the Red Sox, well, a great night for them so far. We'll see what John Burkett has in store. But when you get your ace back, you have this happened to you in your play. Your ace is out for a while. He comes back. You expect to win.
Oh, yeah, no question. And even though Pedro only went 3 innings tonight, they fully expected to win. And they knew he was probably going to do his thing and shut the opposition down and give them an opportunity to score some runs. And he's done that.
Ball 1 to Millar. On the night, a 2 RBI double. He's also grounded out, 1 for 2.
It was kind of the same thing last night in the game last night. Woody Williams is 8-1 for the Cardinals. When he pitches, they feel like they're going to win. And even though he didn't get the decision, they ended up winning the game.
They won it 9-7. The Red Sox with a little revenge in mind tonight. Red Sox fans have revenge in mind that goes back to the 1946 World Series. Woody Williams, who gutted out a performance last night that was atypical of how he'd been pitching. He came in with an ERA under 2. But St. Louis pulled out the win. Ground ball routinely to Renteria. He feeds Delgado for the first play. That retires the side. The Red Sox get 2 more. And after 3, they lead it 9-0 over the Cardinals.
ESPN Stadium Anthems in stores now.
Super Regionals are complete. The field is set. It's time to find out who's the best. Heartland, here they come. The top 8 teams in college baseball have punched their tickets for Omaha. Next stop, the National Championship. The 2003 College World Series begins Friday at 2 and continues at 7 on ESPN2.
As little as $99.88 for a 4-wheel friction-free line. It's a small price to pay for all this. And this. And this. And this. And this. Just brakes. Just stop and think about it.
Welcome to the Maxim Laboratory. It is here, from these brilliant doctors of Maximology, that the best things in life come to the men of America. These women have worked day and night, well, mostly nights and a few long weekends, to create the only hair color good enough to be called Maxim. The easy way to get highlights. Chits, all over color. Only a Maxim girl has what it takes to make a Maxim man.
Maxim hair color. The only hair color good enough to be called Maxim in the men's grooming section. You're approved.
That sound? It's Morse code for please take me to Just Brakes now. Just Brakes. Just stop and think about it.
Well, the Sox fans painted up and delighted. 9-0. They've been partying tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals. Pedro Martinez went 3 innings and turns it over to John Burkett, the 38-year-old right-hander, and one heck of a bowler. But he wants to try and bring down that earned run average, Tony, of 6-12. A lot of hits. 79 and 67 2/3. He gets right into bowling mode there. And facing Albert Pujols, that's a strike.
Yeah, after seeing Pedro for 3 innings and now face John Burkett, it's like night and day. And so here's a guy, though, whose approach is not going to change. It wouldn't matter who was out there.
Broken bat down the left field line. That one has a chance to fall in, and it will. It bounces fair. Down in the corner, Manny Ramirez reaches it, but it's a double on a shattered bat by Albert Pujols. He's 1 for 2. Let's go to the studio. Gentlemen, take it away.
Dave Revson and Rob Dibble with the Sports Center in-game. Astros and Yankees. Astros up 4, bases loaded, a 3-0 count. Jorge Posada swinging away. Now, Dibsy grabs out. Hindsight's 20/20 here, but what's your take on him swinging away there?
Yeah, by the 3-0 count, you're down 4 runs. Your run really doesn't mean that much. You got to make that guy work a little harder. Now, Tony, you won 8 batting titles. Would you even swing 3-0 in that situation?
I very rarely swung 3-0, regardless if they gave me the green light or not. Yeah, when you're down 4 runs, you're like you said, your run there really doesn't mean that much. But
hit toward the alley by Jim Edmonds. He loops in a base hit. That's going to score Pujols, and right away, the Cardinals jump on John Burkett, Pedro's replacement. A double and a single, and it's 9-1.
Just like that. I mean, you've seen 2 one-handed base hits. You know, Pujols was a little bit out in front, busted his bat and doubled. Edmonds one-hands a ball in the right center field, and you know, all of a sudden it's 9-1.
Tony, what people may not know about you is you won 5 Gold Gloves. We watched a lot of bad fielding by the outfielders tonight. How important is that when you're in a game like this to go out there and try to help your pitcher out?
Well, in a game like this, especially in the first inning, I believe it was, the second inning, you know, just making the right throw gives your defense a chance to maybe get you out of the inning. If Perez would have come up and hit the cutoff man and tried to prevent the run from scoring, you know, maybe a ground, you never know. Maybe you make the pitch, you get a ground ball, and you're able to get out of the inning. So, but those are things. You got Perez, who was in right field, who's normally a first baseman. You got Palmeiro in left field, who's normally the right fielder. You got some guys out there that normally aren't out there, and they, you know, they made some bad decisions, and it cost them.
Scott Rowland 1 for 1 tonight with a base hit in second. Pujols and Edmonds back-to-back hits. And that equals the number of hits that Pedro Martinez gave up in 3 innings of work. And Burkett doesn't have an out yet. And of course, John Burkett, a starter by trade. He has been throughout his career. Diving play by Millar. He gets back to first base in time to retire Rowland. Nicely done by Millar, as Edmonds moves up to second.
Yeah, that was a great play by Kevin Millar. If this ball gets by him, Edmonds is going to be all the way over to third. It's just fully outstretched, makes the play. He'll get a good jump on that ball and was able to get up, get the out. Because at this point in the game, you want outs. You don't mind giving up a run or 2, but you want to be able to get outs and not have these big innings.
Edgar Renteria taking a strike. He's 0 for 1, having flied to right field, but came in at .336. And the Gold Glove shortstop for the Cardinals, probably having his best year, at least so far. 6 homers and 45 RBIs means that he has cashed in these spots. And Renteria this year, Tony, has put his name up alongside the best shortstops in baseball, at least a couple of them, in Garcia Parra and in A-Rod. He has more RBIs than they do and a higher batting average than each of them.
Well, and he's been a good player in this league for a long time. And, you know, but offensively, he's having probably his best year thus far. 45 RBIs.
Yeah.
You know, for the shortstop in a lineup like this, that's a huge plus.
He's always been a really good clutch hitter, as you know. And, of course, he came up with the game-winning hit in the '97 World Series when he was with Florida to drive in Craig Counsell and beat the Indians. But what else do you attribute his success this year to?
I think it's a combination of having the opportunities. You know, once again, you get because it takes a different type of hitter to have success with runners in scoring position because they pitch to you a whole lot differently than they do with the bases empty. And you've got to concentrate. You've got, I think, his ability to hit the ball the other way is a big factor in this. But, you know, sometimes just maturity, just knowing the things that you need to do, the things that you can do, and having confidence that you can do it. So he's always been a great fielder. I always loved the way he played shortstop. And offensively, you're right. He was always one of those guys you hated to see with the game on the line because he could step up there and put the bat on the ball. But, now he's kind of added power to his game, too. He's hit some home runs, and now he's driving in runs.
He takes that one for ball 4. His best home run year was in 2000. He hit 16, but he's on the pace to go way over that this year. So Burkett scuffling here in the 4th inning. He's allowed 2 hits, and now he's walked Edgar Renteria. And Eduardo Perez would like to redeem himself here.
And that's part of the maturity. I mean, you're down 9-1. And obviously, yeah, you'd love to get a hit in that situation and drive in the run, but he was patient enough to accept the walk and give his teammate a chance to maybe get the big hit and get him back into the thing.
So St. Louis trying to build something here. They are down 9-1, but they're making a little noise for the first time tonight. Is there a tendency? It's Pedro Martinez starting the game, and if he's anything close to a normal Pedro, and he was tonight, he's going to be tough to hit. But is there a tendency once he leaves the game to relax, and that's good for a hitter?
I think it is. I mean, he wants to get off base. The best guys in the business don't want to go up there and hit against Pedro, but that's part of your job. That's what you have to do. So when Pedro comes out of the game, I don't care who you throw out there, as long as it's not Kurt Schilling or Randy Johnson or somebody like that, sure, you're going to feel a whole lot more comfortable. But the biggest thing with Burkett here is you still have to be patient. Because Burkett's not as overpowering as Pedro, but what he does is he gets hitters out because they try to be too aggressive. And there, 2-0, he had to come in with a strike, but 2-1, that does not mean you're going to get a fastball in the middle of the plate because you can just go and spin on it.
Little dribbler, a swinging bunt. It was spinning. Burkett took a nice job to barehand and gun and get it. That was a very difficult play for Jason Varitek because it had lots of English on it. The runners move up to 2nd and 3rd, but now they're a 2 away.
And that's exactly what Burkett does. He's going to change speeds on it. He's going to take your aggressiveness and he's going to use it so you get yourself out. 2-1, big overhand breaking ball, took a lot off of it.
Well, if they're going to get back into the ball game, they're certainly going to do it by swinging the way they have all year. And as you can see, we're looking at the 2 best batting average teams in each league. Both teams can score runs. The Red Sox second only to Texas, and the Cardinals second to none in runs per game at 5.7. It's going to take a little more than 5.7 tonight. In fact, even if we rounded it off to 6, Tony, it would take more than that.
The great thing about this game is maybe they put the 5.7 or they round it off to 6 in 1 inning. That gets you back in the game. Base hit right here gets you to 9-3, and 6 is a lot easier to overcome than 8.
Here's Joe Girardi. Little topper back to the hill. Burkett, good fielding pitcher, throws him outside, retired. A run in for the Cardinals, but that's all they get. So we're talking about the 1946 mad dash at Enos Country Slaughter in that World Series. We'll take another look when we return. So, if we hadn't posted the score, just look at the face of the Cardinal fan, and things were not going all that well for his team tonight at Fenway Park. 9-1 Boston. They got 7 in the 2nd inning off of Brett Tomko. Pedro Martinez making his return to the rotation tonight for the Red Sox, went 3 good innings and did not allow a run. The 1 run the Cardinals have against his replacement, John Burkett. And Trot Nixon leading off this inning, bottom of the 4th. Boston has out-hit St. Louis 12-4, and Nixon has a big one, a big fly home run in the 2nd.
This place. This is only my 2nd time here, and the electricity here is just amazing.
And it's like this every night.
No, that's what I can't believe is that the electricity is like this every single day. It's an amazing place.
Over 34,000 shoehorned into Fenway every single night. Of course, you were here on one of the great nights in the history of the park, the 99 All-Star game. The All-Star game of 1999, that was when there was a great moment on the diamond before the game started with Ted Williams. And that was, it brought tears to people's eyes watching it. I can't believe what it must have been like inside the park.
On the field, too, everybody just boo-hooing everywhere. And you know, Ted Williams, who just got a wonderful ovation that night. I mean, if you were here that night, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm talking about it being electric tonight. I mean, that night, it was just unbelievable.
2-2 on Nixon.
You know, when I still say today, it's still really one of the highlights of my career being here that night, because not only were Ted Williams, but, you know, the All-Century team members, all the members of both All-Star teams. I mean, everybody was out here talking and hugging. I mean, they had to boot us off the field so they could start the game that night. It was just one of the greatest nights I think I've ever been a part of.
Very, very touching. As you were able to help Ted as he came in on the golf cart there, and the fans just went crazy with a long ovation. Nixon strikes out. One away in the fourth inning. Let's go back to the 99 All-Star game, Tony. And here comes the splendid splitter. Omar Garcia-Parra shaking hands with a man who has come to be known as the greatest hitter who has ever lived. And there you are helping Ted throw out the first pitch.
I mean, and then Carlton came out there and they talked, and it was, you know, it was a special night. Just no doubt about it.
And the sound that erupted when he threw that pitch.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was just unbelievable. It was just, I can't even put it into words. I mean, it was electric that whole night, seeing him brought in on the cart and then throwing the first pitch, and then hearing the crowd erupt, and then, you know, seeing him and Carlton Fisk hugging and embracing and telling a joke between each other. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
Bill Miller 2 for 2, trying to go 3 for 3. This one hangs up for J.D. Drew, and 2 gone. Jason Varitek coming up next. We were talking about the 1946. Ted Williams did not have a very good series. He was 5 for 25 and hit just 200. In fact, the only World Series that Ted Williams ever played in, just 1 RBI. Stan the Man didn't have a very good series either, as the Cardinals won it 4 games to 3.
I mean, you're talking about 2 of the best hitters in the history of this game. One hitting 200 and one hitting 222. It just is not supposed to happen like that. But it does sometimes.
Varitek with a double and a single. The American League champs, but no World Series championship, as they were beaten on the mad dash by Enos Country Slaughter, Game 7. That's what that series came to be known for. 8th inning, tied at 3. Game 7. Enos Country Slaughter trying to score on Harry Walker's single to center. Slaughter took off. He never stopped. He ran right through a stop sign. Johnny Pesky hesitated, the shortstop for the Red Sox. Slaughter scored the game-winning run all the way from first. And the Cardinals celebrated a world title. Slaughter, the Pete Rose of his day. He was the son of a dirt-poor North Carolina farmer. And so the country, his nickname. Enos passed away last August. He was a 10-time All-Star. He had just come back from serving 3 years in the Second World War, in time for the 46th season. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1985 by the Veterans Committee. A terrific career. He's also an outstanding outfielder, a big arm. Johnny Pesky, a real favorite here in Boston, but he's been the GOAT for that series a long, long time. He's 83 now. Varitek strikes out. They go 1-2-3 in this inning. 9-1 Boston.
Hi, Tito. I hope you enjoy the empanadas and Coke. Love, Mom. Aww.
Hey, man. Something smells good. Hi, Tito. Hey, man. What?
Listerine Pocket Pack strips have the power to destroy germs. The power to crush germs. And the power to eliminate over 99% of germs on contact. Because when you kill the germs, you get an incredible clean mouth feeling. Cool Mint Listerine Pocket Packs. Kill the germs. Feel the clean.
McDonald's new McGriddles. Crisp bacon, fluffy egg, and melted cheese.
sandwich between 2 griddle cakes with the taste of maple syrup baked right in. Honey, you ever seen anything so bizarre? Honey?
No, I haven't.
Introducing new McGriddles. They're bizarre, but they're yummy.
Are you troubled by creditors? You're pre-approved. I guarantee you.
Go from fat to flat.
You want a dream vacation. Want to see my webcam?
Want a better way to block junk email?
Everybody loves Bacapa. Crispier, flakier crust.
Switch to MSN8. Sign up now and get tougher junk email protection, plus 2 months free. It's better with the Butterfly. Go to MSN8.com today.
James Bond knows exactly what he likes. His car, his equipment, and the setting on his Norelco Spectra. And James Bond always gets what he wants. And now so can you with our $10 cashback offer. James Bond's racer of choice.
A classic shot of Old Fenway Park on a Wednesday night, 9-1 Boston. Tony Gwynn, Dave O'Brien, thanks so much for being with us as John Burkett goes back to work his second inning in relief of Pedro Martinez, but Pedro was only going to go about 45 pitches tonight. And he wound up with 47. Not enough for a victory as Delgado hacks at it, fouls it away. So John Burkett with 157 Major League wins, and he may never have an easier opportunity for victory than coming into a game in the 4th inning with a 9-0 lead. As good as it gets if you're John Burkett.
I mean, that's just getting it served up for you. And here you go. I can't go more than, I only can go 3. Here you go. It's your game. And, you know, pitchers, they have a lot of pride. And he doesn't want to come out here and not pitch well. He wants to pitch well. And he gave up a run in his last inning, but he's working ahead in the count.
He's not relieved since August of 2000. He pins the strike to the outside corner to get Delgado for the first out in the 5th. And coming up Thursday, Tiger Woods is not only playing for his 9th major championship, he finds himself up against the legends of the game. 4-time champions Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, Willie T. Anderson, and Bobby Jones. A world-class field stands in the way of Tiger's 2nd straight U.S. Open. ESPN brings you opening round coverage from Olympia Fields Country Club in Illinois. And, of course, our national championship, ESPN, 11 a.m. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Our last 5 winners in the U.S. Open. Well, Tiger did it in 2002 and 2000.
It's an odd year. Maybe somebody else is supposed to step in there.
You think so?
No. No. And Tiger's is, I mean, these golfers are unbelievable.
Good shot, a base hit by Orlando Palmeiro, the left fielder. He's 1 for 3.
We're supposed to believe that if we practice hard enough, we can go out and make a softball do what these guys make it do. I can't. I know I can't. That is the toughest. That's a tough game. I know hitting a baseball is very difficult, but the way these guys can manipulate that golf ball and get it to do things, that's amazing too.
Well, you know, I expect Tiger to be able to go out and play that way, but I don't expect Tiger to go out and hit a 95-mile fastball the way you did.
No, that's, yeah, well, you know, obviously, you spend enough time working at it, to us, it seems easy, so I'm sure for them, they feel the same way, but I just can't get my ball to do some of that stuff they do.
Oh, believe me, I hear you. You're preaching to the choir here.
Yeah.
Preaching to the choir that's slicing left and right, finding the trees every chance he gets. If there's any water on the course, I'm losing my ball. A chopper to Millar. Guns it into second. Garcia Parr backpedaling out of the way, so they get 1 out, not 2 on the ground ball to first. So Drew becomes the runner at first base, and we'll get another treat here. We get a chance to see Albert Pujols swing the bat. You were talking with Mike Shannon, who, of course, is the radio voice of the St. Louis Cardinals and was a terrific player in his own right. Mike working the game tonight. Before the game, you were talking about Pujols and how a trip like this, where they're playing the Red Sox and coming east now play the Yankees as well, East Coast fans with a chance to see him finally and hitting .390 no less, to know how good he is.
Yeah, and knowing him, he probably is thinking the same way. I mean, this kid is one of the hardest workers in baseball, yet one of the most humble people in baseball too. He works hard at his craft. He wants to get better. He's always looking for information. But now the things that he can do.
Fly ball struck to dead center and deep. Damon backing up on the dirt. He will make the catch. Almost up against the fence. You can't hit it a lot deeper at Fenway Park. And we'll continue to talk Albert Pujols making a run at 400 maybe when we come back.
Michelin designed the cross-terrain SUV tires specifically for SUVs to help provide responsive handling and a smooth ride. You'd be surprised just how smooth. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. Want to help Special Olympics? Want a Michelin Man bobblehead? Go to MichelinMan.com to find out how.
Win by 2. Oh, yeah?
Stop using messy athlete's foot cream. Try new Gold Bond foot swabs.
I've never seen anything like it.
Just snap to release the only medicine proven to cure and prevent most athlete's foot.
With no mess.
New Gold Bond foot swabs. The no mess, no touch cure.
Use an ordinary pain rub on your arthritis and everyone knows it. Use odor-free Asper Cream instead and get clinically proven fast-acting pain relief no one knows about but you. Aspirin-free Asper Cream. Fast pain relief no one knows about but you.
Over the past 5 years, our Diamondbacks have brought home 4 Cy Young Awards, 3 division titles, and 1 world championship. A start unmatched in league history. We've been treated to breathtaking moments, record book performances, and world champion heroics. As storied as this brief history may be, it's exciting to think about the future. Diamondback baseball. You never know what's next. For tickets, call 602-514-8400.
ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball, brought to you by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires, and NikeBasketball.com.
From the historic city of Boston, Massachusetts, 9-1, the Cardinals trail it. They need a little hitting revolution of their own here. We are midway through in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Red Sox coming up, and plenty of Cardinal fans here making the trip from either St. Louis or points around Missouri. A little line drive base hit by Johnny Damon, but nothing little about his night. The leadoff man for the Sox is 3 for 4. He needed a night like that. Came in hitting .239.
I think those the first two that he got, he hit the other way. That kind of helps you get back on track.
Well, chatting it up with Albert Pujols, and we're bragging on Albert. Leading baseball into tonight with a .389 batting average, but in the National League, first in hitting, hits, slugging, second in on-base percentage and runs. This is an MVP kind of a year.
And he's a young player, too, and that's, to me, is what's pretty amazing is that this is his 3rd year in the big leagues, and he's already had 2 years where he's hit 30 homers, driven in 100 each year, scored 100. You know, now you throw the fact he's hitting .389. And I guarantee you he's at first base asking Johnny Damon about that ball he hit the center field that he caught up against the wall. You know, I was a tick out in front or a tick late. For a young player, extremely confident, extremely really believes in the things that he's trying to do at the plate. And I think it shows when he goes up there.
Well, he's all smiles, even with the score 9-1. I'm sure he'd like that to be reversed as it's bounded over to second, on to first for the double play. The Delgado Renteria Pujols turn 2 on a shot ground ball by Todd Walker, and the bases will be empty for Nomar Garciaparra. The thing about Pujols is he seems to be getting hotter as the summer gets warmer. He's now hitting 12 in a row and around 600. So, I mean, he's in one of those zones, and you've been in that zone many times. But are we looking at a guy who could bat 400 from him?
It's possible. You know, I quit doubting him a long time ago. I think that, you know, the things that he's doing shouldn't really surprise me. I mean, I just think he's that good. And And I think he's only going to get better. Whether he's ready for a chase at 400, that remains to be seen. Because it's June, you know. I mean, lots of things can happen. And if he continue to swing the bat the way he's swinging the bat, why not? But there's all kind of factors against him. He doesn't walk a whole lot. And he's like me. He just loves to hit. He loves to go up there and get a good pitch to hit and take a whack at it. But if he does, it wouldn't surprise me.
Swinging a drive left center field, maybe headed for the wall, backing up Drew, and there at the base of the green monster, he makes the catch for the third out. Garciaparra with a triple and a single, 2 RBIs, but this one died on the warning track.
Peel a present when you order a Sonic Route 44 big drink or any large drink. You can win anything from a new Mustang to go-karts, MP3 players, even win free food like icy Sonic drinks and made-to-order classics. So come party tonight at Sonic.
Going a full 12 rounds is all about stamina. That's why I like high endurance from Old Spice. No deodorant protects better. And it lasts longer because it evaporates more slowly. High endurance lasts longer than I do. I'm working on that.
Yes, I have to go back to my convention. Yeah, I know, but I have a convention. Wait, no?
Come on.
I have to go to my convention. I know. I wish I could stay. We got married. I have to go. I love you. I'll call you. But you know, one more thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you smell so good.
Have you heard about the neighborhood? Where you can get local and long distance together for one low monthly price. Where your calling is unlimited, around town and across the country. Where voicemail and caller ID are included at no extra charge. The neighborhood, built by MCI. Where you can talk as long as you want, as often as you want, for one low monthly price.
Call 1-800-JOIN-MCI today and get unlimited local and long distance together.
What are they looking at? This is an easy call. Nothing's proven to beat the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than, boom, Tough-Actin Tinactin. It's the only one clinically proven to prevent athlete's foot.
Rolling down, Tinactin's still the top.
Good call. Boom, Tough-Actin Tinactin.
You want this? You want this, don't you? Yes, you want this. Come on. You're so smart.
The Charbroil 2-in-1 Charcoal Gas Grill. It's man's new best friend.
It's a grill.
Dave Rebson, Rob Dibble back in the studios. Rockies and the Twins, Torrey Hunter, Rob and Greg Vaughn. He makes it look routine, Dibs. How tough a catch is this?
This is a very tough catch. I mean, he's such a great outfielder that we take it for granted. But you know what? This team's second in the American League with the fewest amount of errors. They're a great defensive team.
And he's a big part of the reason why. 1-0 Twins, guys.
Hey, Rob, thank you very much. And it's on to the 6th inning. Pretty good center fielder in his own right here, and Jim Edmonds, the Gold Glover. And tonight, he is the designated hitter. An RBI single and a strikeout. Will be followed by Roland and then Renteria. And the way they started out in the first couple of innings, some non-support of Brett Tomko in the outfield, they really could have used him tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to put them in a hole, not much of a hole, but, you know, enough to put a couple runs on the board.
Edmonds 2 for 5 last night, and a 9-7 victory for the St. Louis Cardinals. It's the first time the Cardinals and Red Sox have met since the 1967 World Series. Fouled out of play. St. Louis right now in second place in the tightly packed National League Central. Both the Cubs and the Astros came into play tonight in a first-place tie. We talked about the Red Sox getting Pedro Martinez back and how much that means to them. Swinging a drive out to left along the line. That's going to sink down and fall in. One bounce up against the green monster, and that means a long single for Jim Edmonds. Edmonds kind of slow getting out of there. A late scratch out of center. Maybe there's something wrong with the leg for Jim Edmonds.
And that's good hitting. He stayed on that ball and He slapped it to left field, but it looks like he might be hurting a little bit. And knowing that wall was that close, he knew he couldn't, not too far to go. He couldn't get the second on that ball. But
I've always liked hitting at Fenway Park, so no matter what shape he's in, he was going to want to swing tonight.
Me too. I wish I could too. This just looks like a hitter's ballpark. If you're a left-hand hitter, you got to like taking a shot at that wall every now and then.
He's 2 for 3 tonight, a .345 career hitter here, and that one's stroked into left. A single for Rowland. He's 2 for 3. So since coming on to the 4th inning, John Burkett has allowed 5 hits. In 3 innings, Pedro allowed just 2 hits.
I think these are 2 veteran hitters who stay back nice. Short stroke. Rowland got a breaking ball that was up, just stayed on it nice and hit it to left field for a base hit.
He brings up Renteria with nobody out and 2 on. He's flied out and drawn a free pass. And he takes ball 1. But the Red Sox get Pedro Martinez back. Yesterday, St. Louis got their closer, Jason Isringhausen, back. Guy who saved 32 games for them last year. Has not pitched at all this year. He missed the first 61 games because of shoulder surgery in the offseason. It's a strike to Renteria, but they have him back.
And just like it helps Boston getting Pedro back, it helps the Cardinals getting Isringhausen back, too. He's the guy that you depend on at the end of the day when you need somebody to go out and get you 3 outs, get the win. He pretty much has delivered in that role. And so it'd be nice for them to get him back.
And this strike to Renteria, so in the city of St. Louis, they've had a Dizzy, and now they have an Izzy back. And delighted to have their closer back in that bullpen. The Cardinals have done pretty well without him. And last night they brought Cal Eldred into the game. You talk about a throwback, a guy who's restarted his career. He was out of baseball basically 2 years because of injury. And he was able to end that ball game, get the final out.
And Steve Klein came in the 8th after the home run and the 2 walks below the bases. He came up and pitched and got him out of the inning against David Ortiz, got him in the line to right. And so, yeah, they've held down the fort. They've done a pretty nice job until they got Izzy back, and now that they got him back, that confidence, once again, just like we talked about with Pedro, I'm sure the Cardinals pitching staff is going to feel the same way.
Burkett from the set. Here comes the 2-2. Renteria fouls that one right back to the net. You take a look at Edgar Renteria's rankings inside the National League. He's already had 28 multi-hit games, no hits tonight. He is 3rd in the league in hitting and 3rd in hits with 80. So it's not inconceivable he could have a 200-hit season. Snuck out of the hands, but too far inside. No drone here at Fenway. Andy Fletcher saw that as ball 3.
That's a good try to get that inside corner. Kind of straightened out at the end. I think Renteria thought that ball was going to run in on his hands and kind of gave up on it, and it straightened out.
Dave Wallace was taking over as the pitching coach. The runner's on the move. Swung on and missed strike 3. The throw down to second. That's a double play. I mean, this is a team that is down in the game 9-1, Tony. That kind of aggression is a mistake. Edmonds hobbled as he comes out.
I can't call this one. I guess the only thing you could probably figure is that Renteria doesn't strike out that much. He's usually pretty good at putting the bat on the ball, and maybe he's trying to stay out of the double play. And much like the night for the Cardinals tonight, it rains at 4. They've made some mistakes, and maybe that's another.
I mean, that one's an unforgivable mistake. I mean, that's a managerial error. And Grady Little and John Burkett say thank you very much if there's any hopes of a comeback. Unless there was something else that was supposed to happen there. But Renteria, granted, does make good contact. But you can't be giving away outs like that.
And both runners were going, so yeah. I'm figuring if there was a sign, They both got it because they both were running.
It would appear to be the case. So now, with the double play, 2 down, a runner at second, and the hitter, Eduardo Perez, who's gone 1 for 2. And now Veritek would like a word with John Burkett here. Houston still leading the Yankees 4-0. That game in the 5th inning. And, of course, very important to the Red Sox because should they hold on to this one. And if St. Louis continues to play the rest of the night the way they've played here into the 6th inning, the Red Sox are going to win the game no matter what. They've been sloppy in a lot of phases of the game. Well, that coupled with the Yankee loss will put Boston back into first place in the American League East by half a game.
Remember, we were wondering if we were even going to get this game in. It turned out to be a pretty nice evening, and the Red Sox have taken advantage of Pedro being on the hill. Put 7 runs on the board in the 2nd inning, and some of the Cardinal mistakes, and they find themselves up 9-1.
Burkett's 1-1 pitch drifts in there for a strike.
I don't think I've ever heard the word drift. Look at this ball. 63-mile-per-hour curveball. And as a hitter, you see that thing starting to break, and you know you can't pull the trigger, and all you can do is stand there and watch it.
It's like standing on the platform waiting for the 8 train. And it's coming. And it's eventually it's going to get there. Yep. But it's going to take a while.
And after seeing Pedro open out his cheese and then a 63-mile-per-hour breaking ball, and him and Burkett Veritek seem to be having some trouble with their signs here.
Veritek wants to see if Burkett can throw at 62. In there for strike 3. Got him looking. Eduardo Perez frozen at the plate. So despite the 2 hits, Burkett does not surrender a run. It remains 9-1 Boston.
This is my bridge. This is my building.
And this is my truck.
For people that care about getting the job done right.
We built the Toyota Tundra better from the ground up.
One pizza, one pizzone.
What's a pizzone?
The Pizzone. It's back at Pizza Hut. Now get any large pizza for your family and get a Pizzone of your own for only $2.99.
What's a pizzone?
It's a big taste in a big folded pizza crust filled with cheese and luscious ingredients like pepperoni or fresh veggies. Everything deliciously sealed inside and baked to perfection, plus marinara sauce. Just $2.99 when you buy any large pizza at regular price. No one makes the whole family happy like Pizza Hut.
So this is a pizzone.
The Home Depot is more than a store. It's a toy box for dads. And during Dad Days, now through June 15th, it's the best place to find the perfect gift for Dad at a guaranteed everyday low price. And if you pick $100 or more of any Black & Decker products, he'll get something extra special, a Home Depot gift card worth $20. Dad will love the gift, and you'll get something great in return. The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
If you think your kids are ever going to stop asking you for money, you are getting old. Father's Day is the perfect time to look into retirement planning. Retirement, loans, insurance. AIG. We know money.
Hi! Come on in! With 80 miles per hour wind! God, you can't grab hold of the surface! No, fuck!
Here's a better idea. Call Terminex. More people trust us to solve their pest problems. 1-800-TERMINEX.
The Westin Modern Luxury Weekend. Book by June 15th. Visit Westin.com.
Bottom 6th in Boston. Tony Gwynn, Dave O'Brien. It's Wednesday Night Baseball on ESPN. 9-1. The Red Sox with a commanding lead. They got 7 in the 2nd inning. Manny Ramirez was part of that. Not hitting, but he took ball 4 and eventually was brought in. The Red Sox had plenty of hitting around him with 7 in inning number 2. the only man in the Red Sox lineup tonight who started the ball game without a hit. He struck out in the third, so he's 0 for 1. And Ramirez with 6 home runs in his last 9 games, so not only heating up, but heating up with the big fly.
He can turn it on just any time. I mean, good hitter. I mean, he's a power hitter. He's a guy that can drive the ball all over the ballpark. But, I mean, he handles the tough pitches too.
Fouled away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He had not been hitting home runs over the first couple of months of the season, but he certainly has been lately. Homered in 3 straight games, June 5, 6, and 7. The only Red Sox player who has appeared in all 63 games so far. And he says that even when he's not hitting home runs, he doesn't change a thing.
I can see that. I mean, he hits the ball to all fields with some authority. The home run he hit last night was a ball that was up in the zone, and he drove it into the bullpen in right field. I just like his approach. He really works at his craft. Handles balls in and out, up and down. He's showing some patience this AB that he didn't show in his last one when he struck out. And this is a slider. So he didn't bite after it. He kind of stayed in there nice. Just took a little approach at it.
Fly ball right field, well hit. Perez back to the track to the wall, and it's gone. He's still hitting a long ball. 7 home runs in his last 10 games. And that one to right. And it is 10-1 Boston.
And that's when you know that you're swinging a bat good, because that is so difficult to do. People don't understand just how difficult it is to take a ball that's up in the zone, let it travel a little bit, and then hit it out the other way. I mean, that's a breaking ball that's out over the plate, gets his foot down, and takes a whack at it, and it goes out of the ballpark. I mean, there just aren't that many guys in the big leagues who can consistently do that.
David Ortiz tonight, he's 1 for 2 with an RBI single, but he pops this one up to Scott Rowland for the first down in the 6th inning. Now, last night, Manny Ramirez at the plate, he almost hit this one out. A lot of people thought that was gone high up on the Green Monster, and then, well, later on in the ball game, he drives this one also into the bullpen. That one did clear the fence, and they are flying off his bat.
When he gets it going, I mean, he can carry this ball club, and they've got enough guys hitting already. We got Nomar, who's got a couple of knocks tonight, and now, Manny's on the board. He was the only guy that didn't have a hit. He's on the board now.
Millar the batter, and a hit off the wall at Fenway last night in a game the Cardinals won 9-7. Almost reached the best seats in the house now at Fenway Park, and those are the brand new monster seats. First time they've ever had them up there this year. They look, Tony, to me, and everybody in Boston is raving about them. They were the brainchild of John Henry, the new Red Sox owner. This was his idea. Worked out great. Everybody says it is the best seat that ever sat in Fenway Park. You're talking about people who have been coming here for 50 years.
I know if I was coming to a game at Fenway, that's where I'd want to sit. I'd love to sit out there and see all the action.
Oh, and it is action, too. I've been told most of the people, you see a lot of gloves up there? Most of the people who sit up there bring baseball gloves, and you had better be ready to use it.
Absolutely.
And it's great for kids, because some kids have trouble sitting through an entire game. As Millar swings and misses for strike 2. But you'd better be lively up there. If you bring your glove, something might be coming your way. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of Major League Baseball. And the new MLB Authentic Collection Performance Batting Practice jerseys and caps are in. Now anyone can get them. Just visit MLB.com. Right back to the hill, and Calero will throw out Trot Nixon. to retire the side, but he also gives up a long home run to Manny Ramirez to the opposite field. And so the Red Sox star has Boston in front 10-1 at the end of 6.
Leslie. Holds claw. Catchings. And Bird. It just keeps on getting better and better. The WNBA on ABC Sports, 4 p.m. Saturday.
Losing your sight is a terrible thing. Thankfully, Heritage for the Blind is there to help. Heritage provides large print and braille material for the visually impaired, free of charge. You can help by donating your old car, truck, or van, running or not, to Heritage for the Blind. Just call 1-800-2DONATE to schedule a pickup time. Heritage for the Blind takes care of the paperwork. You get the joy of brightening the day of a visually impaired person.
When you're busy getting your stuff done, how do you catch up with all you've missed? Watch the Arizona News Channel from Cox Communications and 3TV. Anytime, day or night, find out what's happening in Arizona or around the world. And see all the fun stuff from 3TV, like Good Morning Arizona in the afternoon, Good Evening Arizona at night, or the news show if you burn the midnight oil. Plus, breaking news and special event stuff. Nobody can stop time, so let 3TV help you get more from it. Watch the Arizona News Channel on Cox Cable 14.
Dave Revson, Rob Dibble with you at Sports Center in game. Barry Bonds unloading on Mark Burley, who's just had a dreadful year, Dibs.
You want to talk about getting the head out on that pitch. That's his 630th home run. He's only 30 behind Willie Mays now for second all-time on the home run list.
17th on the year. And, hey, guys, the Astros on top of the Yankees. The big story here, though, is the Yankees are being no-hit right now. 3 different pitchers combining in that one. It's over on ESPN, too.
Richard, I don't really know the answer to that one.
I won't ask you. Well, back here at Fenway Park in Boston, Tony Gwynn, Dave O'Brien with it, Joe Girardi against John Burkett. It is 10-1 Boston in the 7th inning. Delgado after him, and then Orlando Palmeiro as the St. Louis Cardinals try and make up a little bit of ground here at Fenway. You can lay 5 or 6 runs on a pitcher if he has a bad inning. You get right back into a game like this. But John Burkett has that the look of the vulture in his eye tonight. And you know that if he wins this thing, coming on as he did with a 9-0 lead in the 4th inning, he's going to be hearing the squawk of the vulture when he gets inside that clubhouse. His teammates will let him know in a good-natured way.
Yeah. Well, since he's come into the game, the score is 1-1. Really?
Yes, right.
So he's held his own. He's thrown the ball well. See, Burkett's gonna, he probably knows Girardi's just coming back for being on the DL, and he's gonna, you get anxious as a hitter, and he's gonna work on that a little bit. He's gonna change speeds on him, go in and out. Tried to get him a bite after that breaking ball on the last pitch. Here comes another.
Could not hold it that time, and he struck out. 1 away in the 7th inning. Well, for the first time since 1999, the All-Star game, Tony Gwynn has returned to Fenway Park, and the fans here giving you a warm welcome. And a welcome with a beat to it, Tony. And, this isn't just anybody singing here. In fact, this is your little girl, your daughter.
Yeah.
That's her CD.
Yeah, she's a singer. She's got some songs out, and this was her song that she made, and that's me in the background saying no means no. So,
that was you saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Computers can do some wonderful things. They can do some wonderful things, and so.
You get a little piece of that?
No, that's residual. She asked me to do it, so I decided I would do it just for her. So.
Fly ball to Trot Nixon. He hauls it in off the bat of Wilson Delgado. She's very talented.
She is. Well, I mean, I'm lucky. I feel like both my kids, my son got drafted by the Brewers last week, and my daughter's starting her singing career. And of course, they get it all from her mother and not me. And
about to say the singing talent now, that has to be mom all the way 100%. You're not taking any credit, although you sounded great.
Yeah, well, I'm very proud. I'm a very proud parent. I think my wife and I are very proud of the way they've handled themselves.
Congratulations, indeed. Palmeiro tonight 1 for 3 with a base hit in the 5th. So you're back for the first time into Fenway since 1999. I know what a great time you had here for that All-Star game, those festivities. Ground ball up the middle. The flip over to Garciaparra, safe at first base. But Walker and Garciaparra almost made themselves a web gem there. Wow. Oh, so close. Palmeiro beat it out.
You know, I saw Walker going after that ball, and the last thing I expected him to do was to flip it to Nomar. I thought he was going to get it and try to jump in the air and maybe plant and make a throw, but I mean, he gets to this ball nice, and you don't really expect him to flip it to Nomar, but he does, and they almost pulled this off. He knew it was going to be a tough play for him, so he gave it to a guy who could make the play, and he just barely beats him.
They did do it in Pittsburgh last week, and it worked successfully. Not tonight. It goes as a 4-6-3 infield hit as J.D. Drew swings right through that pitch. A pretty game effort by those two. Nomar still grinning about it.
I think Nomar wanted that play. He wanted him to be called that.
They've been working that play. As mentioned, it was successful in Pittsburgh. Did not work in a game in Milwaukee. On the first, Drew is retired. Well, Tony is back here at Fenway. The Cardinals are back at Fenway for the first time since the 1967 World Series when Bob Gibson was on another planet. We'll take a look back when we return.
She's a real beauty. Oh, I tell you, it'd be a shame if something would have happened to her. What could happen? What could happen? What could happen? Things. Things? Things. Might want to think about getting some protection.
If you want protection, you want the Prestone family and the 3 rainstorm durability of Prestone Tire Shine.
What dog? Lucky dog.
Prestone protection, inside and out.
What are they looking at? This is an easy call. Nothing's proven to beat the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than boom, tough actin Tinactin. It's the only one clinically proven to prevent athlete's foot.
The ruling stands, Tinactin's still the toughest.
Good call. Boom, tough actin Tinactin.
Here comes dinner!
I'm not eating that.
There's no place like Outback for our new Royal Port catch. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
With capabilities that will amaze you, both on-road and off, Ford Explorer is the most trusted SUV in America.
Sorry I'm late. We took a wrong turn at Greenland.
If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Baseball, brought to you by Prestone. When you want protection inside and out, you want the Prestone family. And Tinactin. Tackle tough athlete's foot with tough actin Tinactin.
Boston's famous Old North Church. It is 10-1 here as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea, and I on the opposite shore shall be. Tony Gwynn. And we have changes here. In fact, 2 of them. As Delgado moves over from second to short. Miguel Cairo is the new second baseman. New pitcher is Dustin Hermanson. Now, he has not been in the doghouse of Tony La Russa, but he hasn't been used all that much. Just 19 games. La Russa hasn't had many chances to get him in, but he gets him in here tonight. Bill Miller leading things off here for Boston. The Red Sox have out-hit St. Louis 14-8. 2 of the most potent offenses in the game going toe-to-toe here. And again, meeting for the first time ever in the regular season. First time, period, since 1967. When the Cardinals won the World Series 4-3. The Red Sox, in their glorious history, which has also had plenty of tragedy in a baseball sense, have played a 7th game of a World Series 4 times and lost every time.
Wow. That one's hard to believe, but it's true.
Lays toward the corner. That's going to get out of the reach of Palmeiro and up against the fence. Miller wants a hit in the second. He'll have one. His 3rd of the night. He's 3 for 4. Let's go to the studio for an update. Here's David Robb.
All right, Sports Center in game. Houston up 5-0 on the Yanks in the 7th. Todd Zeile goes down. Raul Mondesi goes down. Brad Lidge in there. It is still a no-hitter, guys. Top of the 8th.
My goodness.
Wow.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. That would be combined, but a no-hitter in progress tonight. In that game between the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees. They have not announced that inside Fenway Park, but if they did, about 35,000 are going to go crazy. Here's Varitek. He has 2 hits. Johnny Damon with 3 hits tonight. Bill Miller just picked up his 3rd hit, and Varitek is trying to join them. Boston has racked up 15. And in the first 2 games of this series, they have 29 hits.
This is a good offensive club playing in an offensive ballpark. It's you almost feel sorry for the Cardinals here because the guys that are coming up to the plate for the Red Sox, they're swinging back with authority.
And one hit hard down to get it. Pujols from his knees. He feeds the pitcher to get the out. You got to keep an eye on Millers. He moves into 3rd. Now, on the topic of unhittables, how about Cardinals ace Bob Gibson? He ended the Red Sox impossible dream season by pitching a complete game 3 times in 7 games. He struck out 26 Red Sox in that series as St. Louis won the World Championship. Game 7, he clinched it. 7-2 was the final. He was the World Series MVP and also hit a home run.
Just doing it all. And I remember my father talking about Bob Gibson and how dominant he was.
Line drive and a base hit up the middle by Johnny Damon. And for Johnny Damon, his 4th hit tonight. He is 4 for 5 as he plates Bill Miller to make it 11-1.
Bob Gibson, my dad used to tell me, he used to talk about Bob Gibson and how dominant he was. And I really didn't I think I didn't really understand it until I got to the big leagues myself, because the next year in 1968, Bob Gibson had an ERA of just microscopic numbers.
1.12.
And every hitter in the big leagues today should thank Bob Gibson, because if he wasn't so dominant, that mound would be 12, 13 inches high instead of 10.
But they dropped it after that.
And after Bob Gibson dominated so many hitters in 68 that they dropped the mound a little bit. And, you know, the rest, I guess, is history. But you talk about a dominant player.
So we took a look into the annals of the World Series. Bob Gibson did not hit a single batter in his 3 starts. As dominating as he was, and you know how nasty he was and how he was not the least bit afraid of throwing at a hitter, knocking him down. There's nothing in those record books about how many men were forced to get up and brush themselves off as a result of a Gibson pitch. But he was just incredible.
And as dominant as he was as a pitcher, he hit a home run. He stood up at the plate and hit a homer.
He hit 25 home runs in his career.
And, you know, he was an athlete. I mean, I think people don't realize that, you know, Bob Gibson could have played basketball, probably could have played football.
He did play for the Globetrotters.
Exactly. He decided to play baseball, but, I mean, he was an athlete who could do a lot of things.
Well, wrong place, wrong time for the Red Sox. That 1967 team, they called it their impossible dream team. Fly ball well hit towards center, but Drew will chase this one down and make the catch. Damon back to first base. The Red Sox the season before lost 90 games, but behind Carl Yastrzemski, they would go on to the World Series in 1967. Yaz had a big series. He hit 400 with 3 home runs in a losing effort. In the very first game of that series, he went 0 for 4. Then when the game ended, Tony, The Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski demanded that they bring the batting cage out after the game here at Fenway Park, after the crowds had all gone home. And he took a round of batting practice, something that's unheard of, after that game. And, of course, the very next night, in Game 2, he hit 2 home runs and went on to bat 400 for the series.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, Carl Yastrzemski was a guy who really worked at his craft and wanted to be the best at it. So him going over in the first night and wanting to take batting practice is not a surprise.
Garciaparra knocks that one down in the corner. It thuds against the Green Monster. It's actually Sanchez hitting for Nomar Garciaparra. He pulls up into second. And Johnny Damon into third. And so the Red Sox want to score some more runs here tonight. They have plenty. They've got 11. Sanchez with a wall ball here for a double.
And that's one of the luxuries of having a big lead. This ball right in. Sanchez just working his hands to the inside. Knocking it off the Green Monster. But one of the luxuries is when you get a big lead, you can get a starter out of it. You take a Nomar out. Ramirez out. In this case, for the Cardinals, they take Burkett out. You can give them a little bit of extra rest. We talked about how they're going to play 30 games or 31 games in 30 days or whatever. You can give them a couple of innings off, and a couple of innings makes a huge difference. And I know it doesn't seem like it, but it really does.
33 games in 34 days for the Red Sox. Garciaparra with a hit, a couple of RBIs in this one. And resting the rest of the way. Damian Jackson batting, as Tony mentioned, for Manny Ramirez, who also joins Garciaparra on that bench. 2 down. And that's down and in. The other thing, looking at the 67 World Series, that you can't help but notice when you look through the records, the time of game.
Oh, yeah.
Only one game lasted longer than 2 hours and 24 minutes. And that was Game 4 of the series. That went 2:48. I mean, that took all day to play. But Game 3 of that series took 2 hours and 15 minutes. And Game 4, it was Game 4 that took 2 hours and 5 minutes. Game 6 was the longest game, 2:48. But imagine that, a World Series game this day and age lasting 2:05.
Oh, no, but you know what? Those guys, they worked quick back then. You know, Bob Gibson, you didn't want to mess around with Bob Gibson. You got in the box and you were ready to hit.
You didn't want to come to the ballpark when he was pitching.
Yeah, exactly.
Let alone get into the batter's box. Yeah.
I'll tell you something else that, you know, when they flash Yastrzemski's numbers, if we can we put those numbers back up there just for a second?
Carl Yastrzemski, number 8 for the end of time here in Boston. And that's ball 4 to Jackson.
I mean, these are Carl Yastrzemski's Triple Crown numbers in today's game. That's an average year, and that's really scary.
Well, it's a real good average year.
I mean, but 44 home runs in 67. I mean, in my mind, man, I would love to have hit 44 homers. But in today's game, you got guys. I mean, Sosa's hitting 60-something, and guys are hitting 50. And, you know, it's become almost like an average year in the big league.
Good point. As the bases are loaded here for Ortiz, you look at an average year for, say, Manny Ramirez of the Red Sox. 40 homers, 133 RBIs, 324. That's an average year, and he's never come close to winning a Triple Crown. Yastrzemski, in 67, the last man to win the Triple Crown with the numbers that we showed you. And, you know, if Yaz were playing today and he put up that kind of a season, he'd be on the bubble for an all-star appearance.
And that's, and it's not to take away from, you know, the guys who played the game before these guys. It's just, I just think that these guys they work at their craft a lot more. You talk to any of those guys, you talk to Yaz, you talk to Ted Williams, you talk to any of those guys, they would be the first ones to tell you that they went to spring training to get in shape for the season. These guys are doing this all year long. And, I mean, look at these 3 guys.
And these are 3 guys who are working 12 months a year, 11 or 12 months a year. They're trying to win the Triple Crown. And now do any of those 3 have a legitimate chance to be the first guy since Yaz to do it?
Well, as you can see in the National League, you know, Pujols is, I think Sheffield is second. So he's 36 points ahead already in batting average. But, you know, it's going to be tough. Because I think You know, you see Pujols leading in batting average, but home runs and RBIs, there's going to be a host of guys who can put up numbers to lead the league in hitting or lead the league in RBIs. In the American League, Delgado's first in homers and first in RBIs, but he's 10th in batting average, and we talked about that before the game started. Some of the names on the American League side, nobody would expect Melvin Mora to be leading the American League in hitting.
Yeah, hitting 364.
That's what's, you know, it's becoming, the batting average part of it to me is the toughest thing. I mean, obviously these guys are home run hitters and can hit the ball out of the ballpark, but to be able to go out there every night, like you said earlier, he was 2 for 5 last night. He didn't pick up a quarter.
Well, Hermanson just forced in a run by walking David Ortiz with the bases loaded. Boston now ahead 12-1. And here's Millar with the bases jammed and 2 out. Bottom of the 7th inning. And the first pitch outside for a ball. Hermanson scuffling here. He's walked 2 in the inning. He's also allowed 3 hits. But yeah, you look up and down the top 10 in the American League. And Melvin Mora having an incredible year. He's a .249 career hitter. But for the Orioles, 364. Hank Blaylock, the young third baseman for Texas, is hitting .349. He's just 22 years old. Frank Catalanano is hitting .333. He's been a good hitter.
He's a good hitter.
Eric Burns of the A's, .328. And Rocco Baldelli of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, the first-round pick in 2000. He's hitting .327. They're all in the top 10. But not household names.
Yeah, those aren't your household names. And, you know, it just goes to show you, these guys are working at their craft. They're trying to get better. And so when you're talking about the triple crown, it's tough. And that's why Gaz deserves a lot of credit. He's the last one to do it.
An excuse me roller could be trouble. Picked up by Roland. What a play! Offline, though, and the run is going to score. He cut off Delgado, and with a more accurate throw, they're going to get Millar on that one. But they don't get it. And it's 13-1 Boston. Millar with what should be an infield hit. You thought Roland was going to make it once he got to it.
Yeah, once he got his hand on it, you thought he was going to be able to make it, but he pulls Pujols off the bag. And Millar gets a base hit and an RBI, and the onslaught continues.
Third RBI of the game for Kevin Millar, who's been quite a pickup for Boston. You know, it's 44 runs batted in. Here's Trot Nixon, the 9th Red Sox batter here in the 7th. There's a guy who could be playing tonight in Japan and not loving life very much, not because he would be playing in Japan, but because he wanted to play in the United States. And the Marlins had dealt him his rights to a Japanese team. And it almost took an act of Congress to get him freed to come to the Boston Red Sox. But he could not be happier. He's having a heck of a year, too. But foul by Nixon. Well, here's how the floodgates were opened up way back in the 2nd inning. Trot Nixon facing Brett Tomko and drove this one deep into the stands in right field for his 8th home run of the season. And, well, ever since then, it's been all Boston. As it is here again in the 7th. The bases are loaded up. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nixon. 18 hits for the Red Sox.
I mean, they've moved the ball around, too. They've hit balls out of the ballpark. They've run the bases aggressively. You know, they've been patient at the plate. I mean, they've done all the things that a good team needs to do to win games.
Well, you're an old basketball player in your own right. And I think it's appropriate to use basketball terminology. They move the ball around. It's like a fast break.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they did. I mean, you know, take Johnny Damon. He had 2 hits this way, and Manny Ramirez hit a home run that way. And I mean, that's in this ballpark. That's what you need to do. You need to move the ball around. You need to be able to be aggressive. So be aggressive with strikes, and they've done a good job of it. Yeah.
2-2 lifted to left along that line. Palmeiro will make the catch. Side retired. The Red Sox keep on scoring 3 times in this inning. They lead it 13-1.
You want to race tonight?
The #1 movie in America is Too Fast, Too Furious. It's hotter than the original. You'll be blown away. Too
fast, too furious. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Wow! Introducing new sour cream and onion ruffles. Incredible flavor packed in every delicious ridge.
Ruffles, sour cream and onion. Somewhere between where you are and where you're going, there's a Super 8.
I think we're right about here.
See you along the way.
Yeah, look what Daddy's got, huh? Yeah. Look, watch Daddy. It's so good. Nummy, nummy. Look, it's good. Daddy likes it. It's good. Whew. It's good.
At least you can count on the Toro Time Cutter Z mower, the most amazingly maneuverable Toro ever.
Taco Bell's new chicken enchilada bowl. Grilled all-white meat chicken, seasoned rice and beans, a traditional slow-simmered sauce, and 3 cheeses, all melting together. To experience enchilada nirvana, you've got to think outside the bun.
The power is in your hand. The Wagner Wide Shot Power Painter. Professional results in about 1/3 of the time. The one and only Wagner Power Painter. For guys who like to run wide open.
Well, the Red Sox with a commanding 13-1 lead. And it is on to the 8th inning as Pujols settles in and takes a pitch, low ball 1 from John Burkett. The Red Sox making some changes. Freddie Sanchez, who hit for Garcia Parra, he's now at shortstop, and Damian Jackson is in left for Manny Ramirez. So a couple of the big Red Sox stars will take this one in from the bench the rest of the way. But Pedro Martinez, who is probably the brightest Red Sox star, and they have plenty to choose from, he made his return to the rotation tonight, pitching for the first time since the 15th of last month. That one driven into left for a base hit, and Albert Pujols is 2 for 4. So regardless of the score, the top hitter in the game just keeps on putting up hits. And Thursday, the Major League Baseball season continues. Interleague play, ESPN Tuesday game. Jeff Bagwell, Jeff Kent, the Houston Astros visit Derek Jeter, Alfonso Soriano, and the Yankees. ESPN Tuesday game from Yankee Stadium at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. David Wells going for his 9th win of the year. And the Yankees, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning, playing at home tonight against the Astros at Yankee Stadium, are being no-hit as we speak. Now, it's a combined no-hitter by the Astro pitching staff. Houston in front 6-0. And Giambi is hitting right now for the Yankees. And he just struck out, from what we're being told. So after 8 complete innings, the Yankees have been no-hit. Now, if they do get no-hit, if it ends up that way, Boston may never be the same. A complete case of delirium here, coupled with a win like this over the St. Louis Cardinals. But we'll keep you posted. Edmonds tonight, 2 for 3.
Did they say how many pitchers have pitched for Houston there?
I'm not sure. I think somebody said 3 or 4. We'll find out for sure. Singles in the 4th and the 6th by Edmonds. So he has 4 hits in the first 2 games of the series.
And this is a time in the game where it's easy to waste them. And they're not.
Certainly not.
Well, he stood in there, he lined the ball in the left. Now Edmonds fingers the center.
The 3rd hit of the game for Jim Edmonds. And by the way, we're being told it's the 5th hit of the 5th pitcher of tonight's game for the Houston Astros in their bid for a combined no-hitter at Yankee Stadium. And it has never been done there with 5 or more pitchers at Yankee Stadium. They're going to run for Jim Edmonds. So he concludes his night 3 for 4. And it's Jason Simatachi, one of the Cardinal pitchers, to run for him. And Kerry Robinson is going to hit. And that means that Simatachi becomes the designated hitter and the cleanup man for the rest of this one. So, I mean, regardless of the score, Simatachi has a pretty good story to tell about the night that he was the DH and the cleanup man at Fenway Park.
Yeah. He got to come in and run the bases. And he was the only guy that had his stripes showing on his socks.
Swing and a miss by Robinson. When he tells that story to the grandkids and their kids down the road, I mean, he's never going to mention the score was 13-1.
Oh, no,
they got into the game.
No, not the score. No.
First and second, nobody out. Robinson batting for Rolen. Scott Rolen had a good night. So in the middle of the order, they did very well. 3, 4, and 5 for St. Louis.
You could bet pretty much on most nights the middle part of this lineup for the Cardinals is going to do well.
And they combined for 7 hits. While it was Pujols, Edmonds, and Rolen. But not enough tonight as the Red Sox have come up with 18 hits and 13 runs. Johnny Damon with 4 hits. Omar Garciaparra with a couple of RBIs. Manny Ramirez with a home run. Kevin Millar, 3 RBIs. Bill Miller, 3 for 4. Jason Varitek, 2 for 4. A comeback. Burkett handles it. Out at second. On the first, got him. Millar holding the base with that foot. Robinson very speedy, tough to double up. But Burkett handled the chance flawlessly.
Sanchez made a nice play coming across. He had a little trouble getting it out of his glove, but he completed the double play.
Two no-hitters in a season. You go back to 1952, and Virgil Trucks of Detroit was the last one to throw a no-hitter against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. The second one of the season. And the Yankees in the process of being no-hit tonight at Yankee Stadium. 6-0 Houston, using their 5th pitcher to get through 8 innings. That no-hit pitch.
It's not fun getting no-hit, but especially when it's more than one guy. I mean, the Padres, we got no-hit in Atlanta by 3 guys. I think Kit Merker was one of those 3 guys, and that is not fun. But to have 4 or 5 guys no-hit, that can't be fun either.
Runner at third here, 2 down. Cairo with a ground ball, 2 short. And Sanchez gets him in time. So the only other man to throw a no-hitter so far this season, Kevin Millwood of the Philadelphia Phillies, is against the Giants. And maybe another one tonight, not here in Fenway.
X Games 9, coming in August on ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC.
How'd you know I don't need that card? I've been looking at your hands. Well, that's smart. No, that's cheating. Using 10-10-220. Now that's smart.
No fees, no commitments. Dial 10-10-220. The smart way to make inexpensive phone calls.
Lousy cards.
In the neighborhood where I grew up, what we grew out there, we cooked fresh in here. That's how Olive Garden makes their chicken vino bianco. Great fresh mushrooms and tomatoes with chicken and wine sauce. Plus all the breadsticks and salad you want for $8.95. Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
The U.S. Open. Win it and forever walk with the greats. Now, Tiger Woods attempts to capture his 3rd U.S. Open as our national championship returns to ESPN. The U.S. Open. Coverage begins Thursday at 11 Eastern on ESPN.
The top 8 teams in college baseball have punched their tickets for Omaha. Next stop, the national championship. Here's the play at the plate. He's safe. The 2003 College World Series begins Friday at 2 and continues at 7 on ESPN2.
Welcome to the Maxim Laboratory. It is here, from these brilliant doctors of Maximology, that the best things in life come to the men of America. These women have worked day and night, well, mostly nights and a few long weekends, to create the only hair color good enough to be called Maxim. The easy way to get highlights, chips, all over color. Only a Maxim girl has what it takes to make a Maxim man.
Maxim hair color. The only hair color good enough to be called Maxim in the men's grooming section. You're approved.
It's a fact. People come from all over Arizona to Superstition Toyota, and they do it for one simple reason. We take care of our customers.
Get $6,000 off all the hard-to-find Toyota models. New Camry LEs are just $199 a month. New Tacomas are just $10,998 or $99 a month. And take $5,000 off MSRP on all Tundras and 4Runners.
Come to Superstition Toyota. If there's a better deal in town, we'll beat it. Right, guys?
US 60, exit Superstition Springs, 480-807-9700.
Well, the Red Sox have done plenty of hitting tonight, as you can see, 13-1. A giant lead here at Fenway Park. And Jeremy Giambi, Jason's brother, leads off this inning. The Red Sox with 18 hits. So they have been clearing the bench. Everybody hits tonight. Now, the Cardinals have 10 hits, but they managed just 1 run. Boston blew it open in the second inning with 7 runs in front of 33,453 at Fenway. Now, the Houston Astros are trying to do it with a number of pitchers, 5 or more. It would be a combined no-hitter, but they're in the process of no-hitting the New York Yankees. That game has gone to the top of the 9th with the Astros batting. It is 6-0. 1 out for Houston. And we are going to take you there to Yankee Stadium for the bottom of the 9th and that bid to the no-hitter. Swinging a pop-up. Robinson coming on to make the catch. A defensive replacement. He makes the grab. And, well, the big story tonight, of course, was Pedro Martinez.
And Pedro had it going early tonight. Breaking ball for strike, the high rider, backdoor. But this is a pitch to me that lets you know that, hey, it's the old Pedro. Being able to throw his changeup, he was able to command it. He could throw it in, he threw it out. You know, 47 pitches in 3 innings. I think he did a heck of a job, and I think the Red Sox are going to feed off him being back out there every 5th day, and I think they're going to be right there in the thick of it all year.
Well, they need it. Red Sox pitching has been pretty woeful, and Grady Little will be the first one to admit it. A .530 earned run average coming into tonight. Line shot and a base hit. Sharply up the middle by Jason Veritek. So he becomes yet another Red Sox hitter to compile 3 hits in this game. These guys certainly benefit from having him back. Derek Lowe has not had anything close to the season he had last year. He has been battling a blister, but he doesn't have to be the guy. That's Pedro's job.
Yeah, and you know, it makes it easier for these guys to go out and do their job because they know that they've got a guy that can stop the losing streak. They can go out there and give them 7-8 innings. And take some of the wear and tear off the bullpen.
By the way, due up for the Yankees in the 9th inning. Posada, Ventura, and Matsui. The Astros going for a combined no-hitter. Stay right where you are. We'll get to the Yankee Stadium when we can. Jason Veritek just singled, so 3 different Red Sox batters with 3 hits or more tonight. Veritek winds up going 3 for 5. And Bill Miller 3 for 5. And Johnny Damon 4 for 5.
I think Jimmy Williams would bring Wagner in to try to close out the no-hitter.
I think so. Well, we're going to find out in just a minute. The Astros about to try for that no-hitter. Yankee Stadium. Right now we go to the studio and Dave and Rob. Guys.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. And Dibs, we are on the verge of seeing some history potentially.
Possibly a 6-pitcher no-hitter. Never been done in the history of the game.
Yankees have not been no-hit at Yankee Stadium since 1952. The Astros 1 inning away. Let's join Gary Thorne and David Justice.
Now we've got our Red Sox audience. Welcome, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne along with David Justice. You're looking at Billy Wagner coming out of the bullpen in one of the most unusual games you'll ever see. We're going to the bottom of the 9th inning. This is the 6th Houston pitcher, and the Yankees do not have a hit. They are hitless. It started in the first, a wild pitch. Weaver, the starter for the Yankees, delivered it. Biggio scored. Oswalt started, struck out 2 in the first inning, but a groin injury resurfaced, and he had to come out of the game after 1. So Houston went to the bullpen in the 2nd inning with Oswalt out of there. Berkman delivered the home run. That came in the 3rd off Weaver. That's a 2 RBI shot. Houston was on their way. Berkman, a 17-game hit streak. The only potential hit for the Yankees, the diving catch Berkman on Soriano in the 5th inning. Possible double play. Jeter threw it wild. The Yankee error in the ball game, his 4th of the year, allowed another run to score. Dotel struck out 4 in the 8th inning. 4! Because 1 reached on a wild pitch. So here we go to the bottom of the 9th. 8-14-1 for Houston. 0-0-1 for the Yankees. Oswalt, Monroe, Saros, Lidge, Dotel, and now the closer Wagner have all pitched for Houston. There has never been a no-hitter in the majors that involved 5 or more pitches. Houston 3 outs away from changing that, but Jorge Posada, Robin Ventura, and Hideki Matsui are due up.
And it's not going to be easy. Jorge Posada is a great clutch hitter. He's a good hitter. And it's going to be tough for Billy Wagner. But as we spoke earlier about Dotel, you're talking about the Dotel-Wagner combination that is as good as any in the game. And Wagner throwing upwards of 100 at times with that hard slider. It's going to be tough for the Yankees to get a hit.
Here we go, bottom of the 9th inning. Wagner has struck out 46 in 36 innings. The Yankees, the last time they were no-hit was 6,980 games ago.
That's all?
That's all. Oh. Wagner's delivered. Check swing and a strike. The last time the Yankees were no-hit was 9/20 of 58. Hoyt Wilhelm, the knuckleballer with the Baltimore Orioles, threw a no-hitter against the Yankees. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Big rip foul back, 1-2. So 44 complete seasons without a no-hitter thrown against them.
When Oswalt went out after 1, who would have thought that it would turn into this type of game?
You never would have believed that. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Jorge Posada is grounded out. Walked, flied out. Pitch misses inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. For the Houston Astros, their last no-hitter was Darryl Kyle. 93 did it against the New York Mets on September 8th. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Posada fouls it off. 29,905, the announced attendance on hand, maybe to see a piece of baseball history. The only no-hitter pitch this year came on March 27th. Kevin Millwood for Philly against the Giants. Or April 27, rather. A 2 ball, 2 strike count. Fouled off again.
Well, he's trying to elevate it a little bit to see if he can get Posada to swing through it, and Posada just getting enough to foul it off. He tried to entice him with one of those sliders going to dirt. He didn't get Posada to chase it, so he's gone back to the fastball and tried to elevate that, and Posada's just been lucky enough to get it. Just a little bit of wood on the last two pitches.
Making Wagner throw here in the bottom of the 9th. The 2-2 delivery.
And now he's getting it. He started at 95, 96. Now he's raising to 95 miles an hour. So he's just starting to get loose. Gary, we haven't seen that 100, 101 yet, but I think it may be coming here soon. But those last 3 pitches are pretty much in the same area as you see Oscar setting up inside. You know, it's hard to turn on a 99 mile an hour fastball, especially one, you know, a little bit above the waist on the inside part of that plate.
Opposition hitting 181 this year off Wagner. But Posada took something off it.
And that was a great pitch. He tried to get him 3 times on the ball inside and then went away with a fastball at 99 miles an hour on the outside corner after throwing 3 fastballs, 95 and 99 on the inside. That's great location.
That's 7 Yankees in a row who have struck out in this game. 7 in a row going back to Todd Zeile in the 7th inning. Robin Ventura. Outside corner strike. 1 down, bottom of the 9th. Bubba Trammell is pinch hitting for Ventura. How about this for a situation to pinch hit in?
Now he goes to the slider. Billy Wagner just has, I mean, you get tired of seeing above average stuff. Just call it superior stuff.
Yankees watching. 0-2 delivery. Trammell takes it. Oh.
And there was the 100-mile-an-hour fastball that we've been calling for, Gary. He was just getting loose. Arm was a little tired at 95 miles an hour. Now he's loose. Now he's up at 100.
Last combined no-hitter, 97. Pirates Astros, Cordova and Rincon. 1-2 delivery, jammed him. We showed you the faces of the Houston fielders. They too know they don't want to be the one to have one just out of their reach.
Say another thing too. Wagner just tried to get him with a slider. If he somehow gets a hit off Wagner's slider, Wagner won't sleep for a week, knowing that his best pitch is that 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Trammell's gone. Unbelievable. 8 consecutive strikeouts by Houston pitchers.
Now in this situation right here, never faced Matsui before. If I was a left fielder, I would play more toward the line. If I was a center fielder, I'd play more. And I'd actually probably play a little bit shallow and left, because in case he just deeps one or breaks the bat, I'm that much closer to the infield. I'd make him beat me over my head, because even if it's over my head, it's only a double.
Matsui up. 2 down, 9th inning. Grounder could be the first. Combined no-hitter with 5 or more. It is for Houston Astros. Have pitched a no-hitter against the Yankees for the first time in 44 years. And they went through 1 starter and almost the entire bullpen to do it.
This is one incredible game. And to think that Oswalt started this game and went out in the 1st inning or going into the 2nd inning and his groin bothering him, and people looking at the bullpen wondering now who we got coming in. You know, are we even going to win? Because the game was still just a 2-0 game at that point. And to see this bullpen come in and get the outs and make the pitches and get out of that jam in the inning where Posada swung at the 3-0 pitch for the last out, it's just amazing.
A 6-pitcher combined no-hitter. Berkman made the only big play to deny a hit in the game off Soriano in the 5th inning. And then it was left to the bullpen, the second-best ERA in the majors for the Houston pen. And did they ever get it done? Osmus, the catcher you saw, the man who called it all, and the first combined 6-pitcher no-hitter in Major League history takes place here on June 11, 2003 at Yankee Stadium.
Just glad to be a part of it, Gary. What's amazing is this team, when you read a lot of things, this team really gets along. They have great chemistry, and to see them do this tonight will only bring this team that much closer. Because if you talk to them, the first thing they say is, oh, we're a close unit. We're a cohesive unit. So this team is coming together. And now nothing will bring a team closer than a no-hitter.
Here it is, final out. Wagner over to cover on the pitch from Bagwell. Lidge is going to be credited with the win in the game. He was their 4th pitcher. But just one in a line of many for the Houston Astros. Unbelievable. But Matsui at least hit the ball. The 8 Yankees before him had all struck out. And it's an 8-0 win for the Astros. An interleague piece of Major League Baseball history tonight at Yankee Stadium.
And moments like this are just exciting for the game of baseball. It's exciting for fans all across America who love the game of baseball to see nights like this, go into the history books.
So the second no-hitter of the year is thrown. Kevin Millwood with the other. And for the New York Yankees, 44 years without being no-hit ends. Hoyt Wilhelm did it to him in 58, and now Houston does it to him here. What a ball game. 8-14-1 Astros, 0-0-1 for the Yankees. Gary Thorne, David Justice, we were happy to be mucho proud of this. Let's go back to the studios. Gentlemen. We'll get ESPN going to baseball tonight. And those of us on ESPN2 will take you to Thrills and Spills. Baseball history, and you were part of it.